everybody, and welcome to the Absolute Football Podcast, Absolutely Lower League, the show dedicated to the EFL Championship, League One, League Two, and the National League. We've got a lot of football to talk about, and I couldn't do it alone. So I've brought my two favourite fellow Northerners with me. So you may need subtitles for this one. Ant, how are you?
I'm really well, yeah, thanks very much. Really hot and sweaty, and my fan's not working, so yeah. Yeah, if you see like kind of me just dissolving, then don't worry. It's just the heat.
There'll be an ant puddle on the floor later. And Claire, how are you?
I mean, I'm gonna join Ant at some point. It's ridiculous in my house.
It is.
I think it is. Other than that, good. How are you?
I'm really good, apart from the pollen 2023 is kicking in again. I was doing really well with my hay fever. Obviously got my cold, had the tissues out the last 2 weeks, haven't I? And then hay fever's come back with a vengeance. So I do apologise to anyone in the chat. Bear with me, please. I will be up squinting more than usual.
I think we should change the name of this podcast to the Charlotte's Ailments. We can go on for weeks, couldn't we?
Do you know what? I never usually get ill as well, but I don't know what's happening at the minute. I really don't. But yeah, we're joined in the chat. We've got Ryan with us. Hello, Ryan. Hope you're okay. We have got Baron. Oh, see, bear with me already. I'm struggling already. We have got Graham. Graham will be happy as well this week. Can actually talk about a win.
I know too.
And we have Turf Morehouse. Hello, Dan, in the chat. Should we talk some football? We've got a lot to talk about, haven't we? So we will start with the EFL Championship. So Birmingham won, Millwall won. Thoughts on that one?
Well, to be honest, I think we all said last week, weren't we? We were expecting Birmingham to maybe do a number on Millwall. Birmingham started so well. And then Millwall, the last couple of weeks, Millwall have kind of got themselves back together a little bit. Made some quite good signings on deadline day as well. And they were very unlucky to miss out on a striker as well. And I can't remember who the hell it was. We spoke about it last week. It said it would be the most Millwall signing Millwall can make. But it actually missed out, and I literally can't remember who it was. No, it was Kiefer Moore, and he didn't quite get over the line. It would have been nice for them, but no, good point for Millwall. Obviously, Birmingham started really, really well, so a good point for them on the road. I think if you get a point on the road and win your home games, you're happy, aren't you? And good to see 100%. Millwall kind of getting out of the bottom three, getting themselves away from danger so far. They'll not be there at the end of the season.
Yeah, they've really struggled, haven't they, so far, obviously. They had a good season last season, and then obviously it's taken its toll on them. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't think they'll be there come the end of the season.
No.
Sunderland 5, Southampton 0, one of our featured games. So, Ant, I will let you have your moment.
Yeah, literally probably the happiest I've left a ground in a good few years. I've got to be honest. Like last season, when we struggled at home, even though we had a really, really good season, we did struggle at home. We didn't win that many games at all, and we've gone and won our last two at home. We've had a bit of a difficult start of the season with losing our first two games, but we weren't outplayed or anything like that. We just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net, and we've been threatening to beat the team like this for a long time. Did I think it was going to be Southampton? No, not at all, to be honest. But from the first minute, we scored in like the 58th second or something, or the Jack Clark gets on the end of a brilliant Trey Hume cross, and it just sets the tone for the game straight away. We're 2-0 up in 6 minutes or something, or the Pierre-Emerick scores, and I don't know if you guys watched that game, but Pierre-Emerick was untouchable. He just glided through that game. We won every battle that there was to win. The defence were brilliant. The midfield were brilliant. Eck was gone and made it 3-0 just on the stroke of half time, but it could have been 3 or 4 before then. And that's, Eck was first couple of goals for us, I think. I can't remember him scoring before. I know he scored in pre-season, but I think that might be his first two meaningful goals. And then, we just do exactly the same in the second half. We just don't stop. Bradley Dack gets on the end of one. Really good finish actually from Dak, because it comes at him quite quickly. It's like a cross-come shot from Abdullah Bar, and he gets on the end of it, and then we just kind of taking a mick for the next half an hour. And then obviously in stoppage time, Jewison Bennett, who's came on, does about 60 Cruyff turns, dazzles everybody. He's going to be on next year's Strictly, with all that dancing he did. Crosses the ball in for Chris Rigg, who becomes the youngest championship scorer in history, 16 years old. I don't know what you guys are doing at 16, but I certainly wasn't playing football at a professional level. I was probably down the park drinking, miserable because something would have been shit when I was 16. But just amazing, and to see someone like that. Obviously he's a local lad, from Gateshead, and we've kind of got there's a lot of interest in him, and we tied him down to a contract, and to see him score and just be over the moon. He didn't know how to celebrate, so he did 4 different celebrations.
Bless.
He said after the game,
I watched it before. It looked like he was like quite emotional.
Yeah. You know what it is? I said this to my dad. I said I was quite emotional watching him score, just because it's a lad who's 16, and it's someone you want to see local lads do well. And even though he is a Newcastle fan, this, that, and the other, and that's fine, you know what I mean? But for him to do that, and he's obviously got a hell of a lot of talent. And, to get his first one at the Stadium of Light, it's far better for him to do it in front of his own fans, and maybe going down somewhere like Norwich and just not taking that many fans or whatever, and, scoring a goal at the wrong end or whatever. So it was nice to see him score at home. I mean, like I say, he's got pardon?
Well. I bet his parents were there as well.
Yeah, his dad was there full time. So his dad, when he came off, he was he went to the dugout straight. His dad was at the end of the dugout, and I think he kind of kissed him on the head and said, "You've done it," which is just nice. And there's a lovely video on. I know it's mint, it's lovely, and there's a video on social media showing him actually watching the goal. You can just see how made up he is. It was great. It was a brilliant day, a brilliant atmosphere. The atmosphere was mint. We were mint. For once in this league, we've kind of dominated a team from the first minute to the 90th minute, which we haven't been doing. And obviously, we've made a couple of signings on deadline day that, apparently are meant to be very, very good. And I think we've got over that little hump of losing our first 2 games. We beat Rotherham, we got a good result at Coventry, and now we've gone and stuffed one of the best teams in the league, so I was going on last week about parachute payments and all. I just give them whatever money they need. Now we'll just stuff them all. You know what I mean?
I love it. Obviously, we've got this. Sorry, Claire, go on.
I was just going to say what I noticed when I was watching it was obviously we every week, and he's been saying for a while we're not far off. I was really impressed because every time they went forward, they just looked like they, and the defence was just really resolute. I know that he obviously scored a couple of goals, but joined in defence as well. There was a really good block before the 4th goal.
Mm-hmm.
Took possession from Southampton in quite a threatening position, and it was just bam, bam, bam. It was nice football.
Yeah, and looking at you look at the squad, and obviously we've got this kind of model that we're going to buy them young, develop them, and then hopefully sell them at a high profit. But I mean, the average age of our team now is 22. You've got teenagers playing, but they don't look like the teenagers. I think that's the best kind of compliment I can give the likes of Ekwar's just turned 20. I think he's not much older. Joe Bellingham, who's a lot of people, and I've said on this podcast now, I'll probably say on every podcast I go on, that man will England, and he's only 17, but he doesn't look like a 17-year-old out of experience. He's only played 10, 12 games in his career, but he just looks as if he's been doing all his life. The same with Chris Rigg. Every time he comes on, he just looks like a footballer. But yeah, I mean, as you said about Echo, I mean, that was comfortably his best game for us, and he did actually start quite badly for us. He looked as if to be honest, didn't look as if he could kick a ball, and then he conceded a penalty against Hull last season where it could have been very easy to take him out take him out the light a little bit and just develop him a little bit. But what Mowbray did, which was really good with him, is play him the next game. We're playing on the bank holiday Monday. And he played that game, played a full, I think he played like 70 minutes or something, and had a very good game. And since then, he's just looked amazing. And I see a lot of like Patrick Vieira in him, where he can get forward, he can glide through midfielders, but he also does the dirty work, as Claire just said there. I'm not saying he's going to be a Patrick Vieira kind of player, but that's the best compliment I can give him. That he just looks, you never know, yeah. But he just looks as if he's going to earn Sunderland. Eventually, we will sell him. That's the way it is. But it looks as if he's going to, kind of get a big transfer fee, which will just develop us even further. You know what I mean? It's just mint seeing these. I've gone through I went through, a time where there was people coming to Sunderland who took the mick, and this was even when we were in the Premier League. We eventually, we went down 2 divisions, everything like that. Now we're even in like League One, where we had the likes of Will Grigg and, players that were just terrible. Seeing these lads who actually care about the badge, actually, know what Sunderland's all about and actually get what the club's all about. And that's instilled in them. Luke O'Nien is the captain now and he is Mr. Sunderland, you know what I mean? Rescues dogs on his days off and things like that. It's mental. But the kind of when they're coming into the club, they're getting what the club's all about. The history and everything like that. They're not overawed by it. And I think Jack Clark or Pierre said in the interview afterwards on Sky that it's like playing football in the garden with your friends. That's what it feels like on the pitch. That there's no fear in them. And like I say, we've got over that hump now, and I just think we'll be up there now. I think we'll be in the playoffs. I'm not saying top 2, but judging on that performance, if we play like that every week, we probably would challenge, But the bother is with them being this young, they are going to lose games, they're going to make mistakes.
Yeah, of course.
It is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. And obviously you've gave the Sunderland side, but from a Southampton point of view as well, do you think it's just a bad day at the office for Southampton? Do you think obviously with Sunderland playing so well, or do you think with some of the players they have lost this season that could potentially harm them? What do you guys reckon?
I think they'll be up there. I really do, because they've still got a good. That was a good side that we beat on Saturday. They are a good team, and even though we did dominate, you could see the way they tried to play it, and they didn't stop. They didn't deviate from that plan. The issue that I've got with Southampton is I've seen them live for the first time. They leave so many gaps, because they're trying to push forward quite often. Yeah. And they do leave a lot of gaps at the back. And I think their manager said, Russell Martin said after the game, that they are so used to, with it being in the Premier League last year, they were the Whitman boys in the Premier League last year. They are used to losing. There's a losing mentality in that side, that if they go a goal or 2 down, they struggle and they give up. And a lot of players just put the heads on. And he tried by making, I think he made 2 substitutions at half time, but he made all of his 5. But it just didn't make any difference. They're just players that were coming on with their heads down. Like, what's the point? We're done. And I would be a little bit disappointed. I don't think that'll happen again to them. I really don't. I think Russell Martin will sort them out. He's a good manager. But they looked defeatist from as soon as we'd scored that second goal. They were 2-0 down in 6 minutes. Yeah, they should have had a penalty. If they should have done it, was a penalty. Brady Dack takes their left back out.
That was a 2-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a 2-0. And that's probably a way back in the game. But you have still got to score that penalty. But just the amount of gaps that they left, either them left our midfield with too many gaps, and the amount of times their fullbacks were kind of trying to go into the inverted centre midfield and things like that, and just giving Jack Clark and Abdullah Bar all the time in the world on the wing to get the crosses in. Eventually, we've got talent in that team and players in that team who are going to score goals. And if you give us chance after chance after chance, that's what's going to happen. So I think the international break's probably come at the right time for him, so he can just sit them down, get them all sorted out, and build from the back. I think they've signed that there lad from City. There's at Harwood Bellis.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, and he's a fantastic footballer, and I think they'll probably start in the next game. I was actually surprised he didn't come on at half time, just to try and change it around a little bit, but he didn't come on in the end.
Of course, this is amazing. It's a Stockport fan.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, we love him already. And I mean, the best thing about Saturday, well, not say the best thing, but another quite funny thing was we just sold Ross Stewart to them for 10 million quid.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
I forgot about that. Just proved you didn't need him.
The thing is, though, we're being so used to him because he hasn't played for that often. I'm trying not to turn this into a Sunderland chat, but like,
don't worry. It's a featured game. You've got every right to.
Yeah. We're so used to without playing with him now because obviously we haven't had him for 9 months, so we're used to not having a roster in our team. So we've signed a couple of strikers. Obviously, we've got a lad coming in from Ukraine. We're still waiting for his work permit to go through, but we've also got what's his name? Burstow, from Chelsea, who was playing for Chelsea. He was getting games for Chelsea, so I'm really looking forward to seeing him. They had like 3 of them come out at half time, to wave to the crowd and everything like that. And they didn't look overawed or anything. Look really chuffed to be here. So I think the sky's the limit, to be fair. But yeah, thanks very much, Ross Stewart. Cheers for the 5-0. There you go.
Oh, funny. A team that does need a lot of players, bless them. And I think if I've got it right, they've dropped into the relegation zone now. Swansea City 1, Bristol City 2. What's going on with Swansea?
The bother is with Swansea. They've lost. Obviously, they lost Russell. We'll just talk about Russell Martin. They lost Russell Martin, who was doing very, very good. Graham, he was at Charlton, wasn't he, last season? But Burstow. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. But yeah, Russell Martin's obviously left Swansea. The problem is with Swansea, they don't score enough goals and they concede too many, and that's quite a bad cocktail if you want to survive in this league. And I don't think we were expecting to be as bad as what they were, but they've just lost Joel Perreault as well, so all the goals have gone. I think it's going to be a season of a little bit of maybe take it on the chin this year and see what he can do next year. But they are a very, very well-run club who run at a profit, which is very, very rare in football that a team runs on a profit, and they do. So I kind of see them being down there for that long.
I read a stat this week about I probably should have read a little bit more because it is quite interesting. Teams in the Championship lose about 25 million a year.
Yeah, I was at a business. It was like a business kind of chat with Christian Speakman and Steve Davison, who were our CEO and our like a head of recruitment. That's what Speakman does. And they brought up a graph of all the teams that were making a profit, and there was 2 in the league. One was Swansea, and the other one was Brentford, who now got promoted. So it goes to show it doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
Wow. That's mad.
Yeah.
We're mad.
You imagine proper businesses running like that, though, Shah. Like
no.
proper businesses like that, they'll go bust every week. You know what I mean? It's madness.
Oh, it's mental. Coventry City 3, I can't speak. Watford 3. Quite a lot of goals in that game.
Claire, were you
I know Ryan wanted us to discuss one of the goals, but I can't remember which one.
There we go. Pops it up.
Oh, there we go.
Watford scored a great goal for us, Coventry. What happened, Ryan? Tell us all about it. They seem to be scoring goals now, Coventry, don't they? Definitely. They were one of them teams where I didn't know what to expect with them this season, because obviously last season got to the playoffs, ended up obviously getting beat in the playoff final, lost some key players, but then again they have signed some really good players as well, haven't they, this season? Obviously need time to gel, but I didn't know what to expect with Coventry.
No, and to be fair to Coventry, they've lost the best striker in the league in Victor Gyökeres. He was the best striker. He was absolutely
100%.
fantastic.
100%.
Yeah, really good player. But it's good to see them. I as much as there's a rivalry between Coventry and Sunderland, I quite like Coventry. I think they're a good side. Good to see them scoring goals. I haven't seen that own goal. I'll have to watch that back.
I have not.
No, there we go. A pass back to the keeper that went wrong and went. It sounds like it was definitely one to laugh about.
Yeah. Do you remember the videos, own goals and gaffs? I think Danny Baker used to host it. It used to be a video on every year.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get that. We'll watch that. But the problem is, but I think with Coventry at the minute, I don't know if Ryan will kind of comment or confirm on this. There's a little bit of aggro with Matty Godden, isn't there? They're not happy with him. And I like Matt Godden. I think he's a good footballer. He's last us in League One, the bugger.
Yeah, I liked Matty Godden as well. I thought he was quite a good player.
Yeah, it seems to be. I
Still
think he
on
missed a
there.
penalty, didn't he, on Saturday? And the crowd seemed to have turned on him a little bit.
Yeah. Bradley Walsh's soccer shockers. Oh yeah, Watford as well. What's going on with Watford? Do you reckon they'll sack any more managers this season? I say it every week on the pod, but I think it's just coming eventually because it's Watford.
Probably
It's
about
inevitable.
3 before the end of the year.
Yeah, and that's if you're lucky as well.
It's inevitable, isn't it? And they've got Ishmael in there now. Who's actually quite a good manager. He was at Barnsley, West Brom. He's a good manager. And someone will get sacked, and they'll end up getting him. Someone. I don't know. Getting maybe the first Premier League manager to be sacked or something. They'll probably end up getting him by Christmas. But it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen for them. I'm afraid they've got to have a year of consistency.
They do.
And you can't do that with sacking your manager every week.
Completely agree. Let's go back to the chat. That's just some fans who don't understand him. He's a natural finisher. I'm guessing you're talking about Matty Godden on that one, Ryan?
Yeah.
And then we have got Sam. Hello, Sam. Hope you're okay. And Ryan again. Not all the fan base is against him, just a select few. You get that at every club, though, don't you? There's not one club where there's a lot of people who like a player, but you've got certain individuals who obviously don't like him. I'm sure some of it, it's like with our fans as well. I'm sure you guys have got them as well, where there's a key player and then, make him scapegoat.
No, it's normally local lads as well. And that's what sickens us a little bit. Like we had a lad called George Honeyman, and he got loads of stick. Like, he's no good, this, that, and the other. And then when we sold him, everyone was like, why have we sold him for? He's mint. Like, what?
Just can't win, can they? Just can't win. Next game as well, moving on. Ipswich Town 3, Cardiff City 2. Ipswich are flying at the minute, aren't they?
Yeah, we'll be getting into it, won't we? We've got the manager of the month thing coming up. So slight spoiler alert for everybody. Liam McKenna is not on that list, and that is absolutely criminal. They've had such a good start to the season, and they were 2-0 down in this game as well. They were 2-0 down. Cardiff are actually start the season relatively well. But, 2 goals down. Nathan Broadhead scores just before half-time. Absolute crackerjack of a goal. And then, they get an equaliser. The win is very lucky. The keeper makes a save. It hits off Ladapo's face and goes in. But they all count, don't they? But they've got off to such a good start. I'm amazed he's not a contender for manager of the month. It's madness. Considering they were a League One team last year and they're now second in the table. What's he got to do, really? He must be thinking at home there, like, well, how am I going to get better than this month? It's not going to happen. He hasn't been selected.
It's probably because
I think we've lost Claire. Are you there, Claire? Sorry, I think we lost you then.
If it happens again, I'll reconnect on my phone.
What was you saying? Sorry, we missed that bit.
I think I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure when I was looking, Switch will use a couple of matches.
I think they have lost this season, and I think there's only.
I think that's probably why he didn't get nominated then.
There's only 2 unbeaten teams in the league. I can't remember who they are. I think one's Birmingham and one's obviously Preston. So there's only 2 in the league. So
I know, but I think the others only lost.
Yeah. I just think a team who's second in the league from League One, I would say. I would probably say he's a candidate. Well, not to win it, obviously. We'll give our views on who will win it, but I think he should. I think it's criminal. He's not a candidate.
What we can say, nomination from the Absolute Lower League podcast.
Yeah, we'll give him the winner's trophy. We'll make our own. The Absolute Manager of the Month.
You can have this mug.
Yeah, you've got our vote, Kieran. Moving on as well, we won't talk much about this because it's not a game we really need to speak about. Leeds United 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Didn't sound like a thriller, to be honest.
I watched the highlights.
Go on.
Were ridiculously unlucky. It was just one of those matches where you batter the ball just won't go in the net.
Yeah.
Like they did everything but score.
weren't they the first game on the Championship highlights on ITV on Saturday, and it was 0-0?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there was
It
like
just
so
shows
many
how
games.
many chances.
Yeah, they did miss a lot. Yeah, there was just like so many games they could have as the first game. There was obviously there was a 3-3. With Coventry and Watford, we won 5-0. There was so many games. Ipswich 3-2. No, we'll have Leeds versus Sheff Wednesday finish 0-0. Right, no bother.
Ryan is right in the chat as well.
Yeah,
they actually picked up their first point.
Yeah,
well done, Sheffield Wednesday.
I will say that's a fantastic point for them.
It is.
Really, and hopefully
away
that's
from
them
home
off
as
and
well.
Yeah, it is a good point. But I still think they'll be down there at the end of the season, though. Graham's just commented, ITV coverage of the Football League needs to get in the bin. Yeah, 100% agree. You've got to have. I don't understand these shows that don't have a studio guest. You start in the studio, you've got a guest who talks about. That's why Match of the Day works, and Match of the Day's worked for that long because you have.
Right. That Shah will appreciate it this season. How good program on what's it called now? TNT Sports is.
Yeah.
Like the commentators, all the pundits, they all know homework and they know everything about every team. It's miles and miles coverage.
Completely agree. And I'm going to say as well, because it has been a guest on our Absolute Football podcast, all about him episode, Matt Jarvis is one of them. So big shout out to Matt Jarvis. I'm going to plug you here, even though he doesn't need it, but appreciation from the pod and as a National League fan. So well done, Matt. One as well, I don't know whether to be shocked or not about this result, because as much as Leicester are doing well, how good are Hull doing? Away from home, Hull City 1, Leicester City 0. What a result.
Great win.
Yeah. Hull will be up there. Hull have had such a good transfer window. They could be one of them sides that you don't expect to be in there. A little bit like, I don't think a lot of people expected, Sunderland to be in there last year. Hull will be that side that will probably creep in. It's all about squad depth, I think, with them, and they've kind of they've sold a few players. Obviously, they sold Espetinyan, who was their top scorer last year, scored quite a lot of goals early on, but tailed off. They've got rid of him, but the players that they brought in, they've got such a good side on paper, and that was a coupon buster, wasn't it? On Saturday, I think a lot of people were expecting Leicester to turn them over. Leicester were 100% record. Losing at home to Hull, but it just goes to show how good Hull have done. And big shout out as well, to be honest, to Rossini, the manager, Liam Rossini, who I thought he got a really bad rub of the green at Derby. I wouldn't have got rid of him at Derby, and he's gone there and done a fantastic job. So fair play to him, well done to Hull, to be honest.
Completely agree. Where do we all think right now? Do you think they have got the potential to get playoffs, Hull?
100%. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. If they keep this squad together, because what will happen is, they'll get cherry picked in January, of course they will. But Ozan Tufan for them has been unbelievable. But apparently, I think Ryan said that he got injured, didn't he? And Coventry have got them next, so they might bring them a little bit back down. We'll see what they're like. Obviously, as I said before, squad depth is all important. If they lose 2 or 3 players, how do they cope with that? And this is probably why the bigger teams can kind of, can cope with it a little bit better than the likes of Hull, the likes of, Plymouth, who are doing really well as well. But we'll see what happens. But they've had such a good start.
Definitely. Just on the injury as well, Ryan, if you're in the chat, was it a bad injury? Because obviously there's international duty as well. So will he be back in time for Coventry game, or is it a few weeks he's out for? So I'm not too familiar with that player. But just moving on for in the meantime, one of our featured games as well. Spoke about them a lot recently, but it's just a shock, isn't it? I don't think, have they got any points? I don't think they have they? Middlesbrough 0, QPR 2. Have they got any points?
They are bottom of the league with 1 point.
1 point.
So Sheff Wed went above them on goals difference on Saturday. Yeah, it's not good. And to be fair to Borough, they signed some good players
They have.
on deadline day. They got Sam Greenwood from Leeds, who is an ex-Sunderland youth player and is a really, really good footballer. I was actually hoping we would get him, but I don't think we went in for him. But looking at the team, they just look. The bother is what they've lost a lot of goals last year because obviously I think we've mentioned this a couple of times now, but obviously Akpom's left. Cameron Archer, who did so well when he came in on loan in January last year, and it kind of coincided with Borough having this change in form, but he was scoring a lot of goals. And there was also Ramsey as well, who was on loan, and Ryan Giles, who was on loan, who was setting up a lot, and Ramsey was scoring a lot. So they've lost 4 key players. And I think I read somewhere on Saturday it's 61 goals. It's from last season. That's no longer there. And the bother is Borough haven't replaced them. You know, they brought in, Lath, who, I think Nick mentioned last week, he sounds like a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he's the answer,
No.
Just looking at the team there, I'm just looking at the starting 11 and, Johnny Housen's still in there and he's getting on a little bit. They've got a little bit of a side where they haven't got the right blend of youth and experience. I mean, I'm coming from a Sunderland fan whose average age is 22. It's not the best, but Paddy McNair playing at right back, I'm not sure about. And what I can't understand is they got rid of Stefan, the goalkeeper, and then bought Dieng from QBR. And I don't
get that.
No, I don't think he's a good goalkeeper. He scored past us last year, actually, the bugger. I think that was his highlight of the season. He scored in the last minute. But they've had such a really weird window, and they won't go down, but it's like, what changes? What have they got to do to change it? And for me, it's kind of, I hate to see managers sacked now. And I actually, as much as Michael Carrick's a stout Newcastle fan, I actually like Michael Carrick. I think he was a good footballer. I think he's actually quite a good manager. But they just,
if you don't get the right backing, what can you do?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. If they're not getting backed, which has the money run out now with Borough, because they've tried for 3 or 4 years now, they've had really good goals at it and still haven't got back up. Has the money run out? Signing Britain Assomba Longa for nearly 20 million a few years ago, is all that money being accrued? Probably not. I will say for QPR, because everyone had QPR to go down, and QPR are in the top 12. So Ainsworth is, as much as a very limited manager, is obviously working wonders at QPR. And I don't know if you girls have seen the goal from Dazelle, who hadn't scored for God knows how many years. That is a peach of a goal. A wonderful hit.
That was QPR, wasn't it? And he's only scored 4 in his whole career.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I bet he won't score a better goal than that.
I know.
I think the keeper just stood there like, huh?
Like, hello.
Just rooted to the spot.
He was. Yeah, it was a great hit. And then obviously Jack Colback scored the second goal. Jack Colback, who's played for Sunderland and Newcastle, he'll get roundly booed when he's next up here. But we've got QPR next, actually, at QPR. And I think a lot of Sunderland fans are thinking, that's a must win. And I do think we'll go down there and do a job. But we'll see what happens. But I think Ainsworth's quietly got on. Well, he doesn't quietly do everything, but he's got on with his job. And a lot of people are saying they'll definitely go. I think we all said, didn't we, on the preview pod, that they'll go down. But they've had a good start. They've had a good start of the season. But I still think that come the end, they will be down there.
Yeah. Completely agree. Just in the chat as well, Ryan has confirmed he will be out for the next couple of games.
That's not too bad then.
Yeah, so at least it's not a long-term one. But when you're kind of doing all right and on a bit of a run, you don't need that, do you? But the other players will have to step up, won't they?
Definitely. Yeah, it's what a squad's all about, isn't it?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Next game, Plymouth Argyle 3, Blackburn Rovers 0. They're doing all right, Plymouth, aren't they? Doing decent.
Flying.
Schumacher, yeah.
Absolutely flying. Great side. Good, hard team to beat at home because it's such a long travel for everybody. But it's a horrible away day to go to. I don't know if you guys have been before, but it's so long.
Yeah.
It's such a long way to
days
go.
ever.
Yeah.
So many trains. But yeah, fair play to them, beating Blackburn at home. Good result that. Yeah, they are absolutely flying.
Another good result as well. Rotherham 2, Norwich City 1. I wasn't expecting this at all. Thought Rotherham, they have been struggling, haven't they, to be honest? I think they'll still struggle this season, but managed to get a win at home against a decent Norwich team as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Again, another coupon buster, I think.
Yeah.
And not many people would have had that. And I think I'm in a little family kind of sweepstakes thing, and I had Norwich, and yeah, less said about them the better. But yeah, good result for Rotherham. Really good result, and much needed, I think, for Rotherham, because they've been getting beat quite a lot already this season.
Yeah,
100%. This is what really makes us smile now, and it's nothing against Stoke. It's just because Preston North End are top of the championship at the minute, aren't they? Stoke City 0, Preston North End 2. Wow, that's all I can say.
What a good job is Ryan Lowe doing for Preston.
Honestly, brilliant. And obviously, his number 2 at the time for Plymouth was obviously Schumacher, wasn't it? And he's obviously doing well at Plymouth Argyle. So they're both doing really well.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Law's a great manager, to be fair. He did a wonderful job at Plymouth before, obviously, Preston took him on. And I've got to say, with Preston, it goes to show that patience in a manager is massively needed, because he started quite badly at Preston.
Yep.
And then I think there was a little bit of hoo-ha with him last year where he was close to losing his job, but they've stuck by him. And the problem that the kind of thing with this has been coming with them. They started last year where they weren't conceding goals at home, but they weren't scoring a lot of 0-0s. What they're doing now is they've got into the attack where they're scoring goals now. That's a great result for them down at Stoke. I think Stoke the fans turned on Alex Neil after the game, which I find absolutely hilarious. But yeah, Stoke have scattergunned, I think, a little bit. They have signed some good players in the winger, and I think he got nominated for Player of the Month. He's a very, very good signing, but they're trying to get the best in every position, and it's not quite worked yet. But with Ryan Lowe, that has been coming. That they were turning a corner at the end of last year where they nearly got into the playoffs, and I think they just tailed off the last couple of games. But they'll be absolutely fine this year, and great to see them top of the league. It's nice to see somebody else that isn't Southampton and Leicester, isn't it? To be fair.
Yeah, it really is. West Brom 1, Huddersfield 2. Another shock result, in my opinion. Huddersfield winning, struggling again, aren't they?
Yeah, another manager who's under pressure is Colberan at West Brom. I don't think they've got much money behind them now. They've got to be beaten. There's no disrespect to Huddersfield. They've got to be beating Huddersfield at home.
They have.
But fair play to Daddy Warnock. We all love him, don't we? And fantastic result. And it's good to see Jack Rodoni actually scoring as well, because I really, really liked him when he was in MK Dons. Was it MK Dons or Wimbledon? He was one of the two. I think he was at Wimbledon, sorry, but he was fantastic against us a couple of years ago, and good to see him getting a goal now. And I hope to hell they stay up. I just hope Warnock does it one more time, and then he can go and retire and enjoy himself and come back about 3 years later.
He's just never gonna retire.
He's not. I know.
Too much.
No, they'll carry him out in a box, bless him. But I think every fan loves Neil Warnock, don't they? And those who say no are just lying.
I know everyone loves him, but the Championship this week, that even though Birmingham are doing all right, placing the manager and linking themselves with Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, because hasn't Eustace has been touted for the Rangers job because Michael Beale's on about getting sacked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think Rangers have earmarked John Eustace for the job. That's obviously Michael Beale hasn't been sacked yet, but losing, they absolutely stuffed off PSV, didn't they? And then they lost to Celtic.
Yeah,
so they've already lost a couple of the key objectives this season, and I wouldn't shock us, to be fair. I think John Eustace has done a fantastic job at Birmingham, considering, again, another team who had transfer embargoes left, right and centre. Got them to, relatively high marks this year. I think he's a good up-and-coming manager, so wouldn't shock us to see that happen. But I don't think Wayne Rooney going there will help, but we'll see.
We will see. Just having a quick look at the league table as well. We have got Preston sitting top of the league on 13 points. We have got Ipswich and Leicester both on 12. Under them on 4th place, we have Birmingham. Then we have Norwich and Hull in 5th and 6th on 10 points. Southampton just below them on 10 points as well. Bristol City in 8th on 8 points. Sunderland, Plymouth, West Brom, Millwall and Blackburn all on 7 points. Coventry and Leeds and Stoke and QPR all on 6 points. Then we have 18th place Watford on 5 points. Cardiff are 19th with 3 points. Rotherham just below them on... I've totally made a boo-boo of that. I don't know what points Rotherham are on.
2. No, they're not on 2, are they? They can't be.
I totally messed that up.
Cardiff as well, yeah.
I totally messed it up. But at the bottom, we have Swansea on 2 points, Sheffield Wednesday on 1 point, and Middlesbrough on 1 point. I don't know what I've been doing. I did it last night when I was tired, so my apologies to anyone in the chat. And something different we're going to do each of every month. For Manu, we've just been talking about Birmingham's manager. What's his name again? I can't pronounce it.
Yeah. John Eustace.
Yeah, John Eustace. Yeah. Do you think he's a good candidate to have as manager of the month?
Yes, I would say so, considering where they are in the league. As I've said before, I think Liam McKenna not being on that list is ridiculous. But Birmingham are 4th in the table, so I don't think many fans would have predicted that they would be 4th. It's still very, very early days, but to start the month and finishing 4th, thinks excellent, to be fair. And considering they've been under a lot of transfer embargoes and having to sign players on frees and not being able to pay money for anybody, I think he's done a really, really good job there.
Yeah, I mean, stat-wise, last month now, isn't it? They played 6 and 2 in the EFL Cup. 3 league games. Drew 1. They won the EFL Cup and lost 1. They scored 9 and conceded 6, but 3 of the EFL Cup. Really.
I think I lost you again then, Claire. Sorry.
I was just chatting rubbish anyway.
Oh, bless.
Oh, no, you wasn't.
No, I was just doing some stats about. Again.
Yeah, I keep losing you again. Yeah.
Yeah,
right, I'm really sorry, and I'll rejoin in a minute on my phone.
Honestly, don't worry.
I'll be.
No problem at all.
It's a Wi-Fi melting in the heat, Graham. Yeah, you're right. I'll quickly do you want us to quickly rattle on through these 4, shall while we're on?
Yeah, we can do. Ryan Lowe, I think, is obviously, you can't fault Ryan Lowe at all. I think he definitely is deserving of his nomination.
Yeah, I would give that to him. To be honest, I always think that it just makes common sense that the manager of the month for August should be the managers who've got the teams top of the league. If there's teams like joint top this, that, and the other, in which I think in case in the Championship that they are joint top. No, they're a point ahead of Ipswich, who are joint second with Leicester, which makes it just all the more baffling that Liam McKenna's not on that list. The team in second isn't up there. But going on to Enzo Maresca, I think he's had a good start as Leicester manager. Lost obviously to Rotherham, but they were 100% in August, so I think that's fair play, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Graham's comment made me laugh because it is so true. The people who win it go on to get cursed the month after. So I completely agree.
Yeah, definitely. There used to be a kind. I think it was in the Premier League a few years ago now that every single manager of the month lost their next game for all 9 months of the season. It was mental. And then the last one. See, this is the one I can't understand. David Wagner. I cannot understand that one.
I don't.
No, I think yes, the 5th in the table, with 10 points, but I'm not sure on that one. I would have said Eustace, Law, Maresca, and Lee McKenna would have been my 4, and Wagner to miss out and see what Norwich are like at the end of September. Well, we've got Clare back. There we go.
Yay!
Hi!
For everyone asking in the chat as well, Claire's back with us. We've not just removed her or anything, so don't think we have. We had some technical difficulties.
Yeah, an incident where my 13-month-old decided to throw water on my laptop, so I was using an old laptop.
Oh, I love it. We've just been talking about the manager side, Claire. Who would you give the award to right now out of all them managers? We went for Ryan Lowe.
Yeah, for the month of August. I don't know. I was a bit torn because Ryan Lowe's done such a good job at Preston, but Enzo Maresca has done an amazing job at Leicester. So I think it'd be hard to not pick him, because they literally won 6 games straight, 4 in the cup, 4 in the league. Scored 11 and only conceded 3 goals.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think he's done well. But I think to myself, he's worked with Pep Guardiola.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think you've got Ryan Lowe there, who obviously has built himself up and thinking. Don't get me wrong, it's brilliant what he's done with Leicester, but I just think, just for Preston's point of view as well, and just what he's done for this month and stuff, I don't know. And this is coming from a Rochdale fan, and he was Berry, so he must be doing a good job.
Yeah, I'd love to pick Ryan Lowe because he has done such a good job with Preston. But I don't know. I don't think I can see it happening.
Yes.
Do you think though? And I think Ryan's literally just commented on that. And I was going to pick that one up. That Maresca's got what was last season a Premier League side, and they've only lost Madison Barnes. Obviously, I think a few have gone. Castagne's gone in the transfer window, but that's still on paper. It's still a little bit of a Premier League side there, and they've still got.
Maresca has got loads of good players at his disposal.
Mm-hmm.
Probably,
I think the job Ryan Law's done this month August. I would say, I would definitely say Ryan Law for me. It would be Ryan Law or John Eustace for me, because I wouldn't have Wagner in the 4. I would have Liam McKenna.
Yeah, I don't get that. 100%.
Had Liam McKenna had been in the 4, I would have gone Liam McKenna. But I'm saying Ryan Law, because John Eustace is, of course, second. As far as player of the month goes, probably Sam Morsey. I think he's been fantastic for Ipswich.
Yeah, I was looking at his stats and they were just absolutely insane. Like, he's got an 87% success rate for passing the ball. Like, is a defensive midfielder who's played 5 matches, assisted 2 goals, created 10 chances, is consistently rated 7.5 and above, is also just earned his first call up to the Egypt national squad after 5 years.
Aww.
No, wait, his first in 5 years, like not his first ever, but to have been out of that for 5 years, it just shows what an amazing job he's doing. And from everyone, I'd definitely pick him myself.
It's not an Egyptian name, is it, Sam Morsey?
I was going to say, it doesn't sound Egyptian, does it?
But when you look at him, because I looked him up, like, you can tell it is Egyptian.
Yeah.
So it's probably got an Egyptian parent.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone in the chat as well, please send us your predictions or who you want to win. Please get involved.
Yeah, we're getting a couple have said Vidigal from Stoke, who was the winger I was on about before, and he has started very, very well for Stoke. It's as much as I don't want to see Stoke doing well this year, he is a very, very good footballer.
Yeah.
And obviously the other two, Gabriel Sara, I've got to be honest, I haven't seen much of him yet, but obviously we mentioned Ozan Tufan before, who's been superb.
Yeah.
A player I think's a little bit unlucky not to be on there would be the the guy with the double-barreled surname from Leicester, Keenan Jusby-Hall. I think he's had a very good start.
Yes, yes.
As much
It's just
as,
a shame he sounds like a wedding venue.
Yeah, it does, doesn't he? Yeah.
It does.
But he's had a good start the season, hasn't he? But again, that's probably, the argument of he's probably a Premier League player. But I think he's had a good start the season. Ben Sheaf, Ben Sheaf's a fantastic footballer. Really, really good player.
Agree with that one. Really good player. Underrated as well.
Yeah, he is.
Really underrated.
He's a football manager legend as well.
Yeah.
Oh, love it. Moving on to League One. We've done our championship talk now. League One, Blackpool 2, Wigan Athletic 1. I think Jordan Rhodes is now at Blackpool and he scored on his debut for them. I'm sure he did. Let me get my notes up.
Hey, how old's Jordan Rhodes now? Crazy. What about Hendo, weren't we, last week?
Yeah, Jordan Rhodes, he scored in the 4th minute. And then Wigan went on and equalised in the 89th minute. So I bet they were absolutely buzzing their fans. But then Blackpool went and scored a winner in 90+4. Imagine the scenes. Imagine the limbs of Blackpool fans when they scored that winner.
You can't be a last minute.
I know.
Especially in them circumstances where you've just conceded a goal. Oh my God. No matter what league, there's going to be some limbs there.
Yeah, definitely. I think Jordan Rhodes has had more clubs than Tiger Woods, hasn't he? He's gone through a few, Jordan Rhodes now. Yeah. Wow.
Imagine being a Wigan fan now and thinking, yes, we scored an equaliser in the 89th minute, proper buzzing, and then that goes and happens 5 minutes later. You'd be absolutely gutted. I mean, Wigan already, they've been through the troubles, haven't they, and stuff, and thinking, oh, nice one, a point. Blackpool's not that far away from us either. And then that happens. You'd be absolutely wounded, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 100%.
Bolton Wanderers 2, Derby County 1.
Yeah.
I expected that, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah. Bolton at home. They're not going to lose. Not many at home.
No.
Good side. Last minute winner, local derby, what limbs are made for, yeah. I've had a couple of them in local derby. Last minute winners, unbelievable.
Lisa in the comments as well, who's Blackpool's manager. I can't remember his name, but he's been there previously, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's Neil Critchley.
Neil Critchley, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
Thanks for that, Ryan. Ryan's our book of knowledge today. Thank you. So glad he's in the chat. And then obviously next we have got Bristol Rovers 1, Lincoln City 1. I didn't know what to really expect from that game. I think they're both quite strange teams, aren't they? So I think a draw's kind of, yeah. Not a thriller by the sounds of it. Burton Albion 0, Exeter City 1. Were we expecting that? Burton are struggling, aren't they?
Exeter are just doing amazing.
They are. Really shocking me.
Yeah, they're on fire, aren't they?
It's not shocking me, because their manager, he just quietly goes about his thing. It's not flashy, but it's built a really good community club that care about everybody, welcome everybody. And that's just on the fans' point of view. And then on the pitch, it's just built what seems like a really close-knit, bonded team who will do everything together. And they would be my, dark horses for me this season.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Gary Caldwell down there now, isn't it, at Exeter?
Yeah.
And he had a few manager jobs where he didn't quite do it. He was I think he was at Wigan and didn't quite do it. And
yeah, I was going to say, was he at Wigan?
Yeah, he definitely played for Wigan. I'm not sure where he was manager. I'm sure he was manager there at some point. But again, who hasn't been manager of Wigan?
I was going to say, even Yaya Toure wasn't it? Was it Yaya Toure?
Yeah, for about 3 weeks. Yeah. Didn't last long.
After I said it, I was thinking to myself, have I just made a blunder here and have I just totally said the wrong person? But no, I was right.
Definitely was. Yeah.
And Carlisle 2, Shrewsbury 0. Another one where I thought it could have been either way, to be honest, but Carlisle were at home. Both them kind of teams, aren't they? You don't know what to expect from both of them. What do you guys reckon?
I had Shrewsbury to go up, just as a dark horse, and it's not quite happening.
I've still got Carlisle to struggle.
Yeah.
Everyone's laughing at me because I said yeah.
No, it's cool. Oh, yeah, it was
Colo,
cool.
yeah.
Of course it
I'm
was.
giving
well,
him.
same
I
thing.
know, same thing. Giving him credit because he didn't get a birthday cake.
Yeah.
I think what we should do is skip the next one because Graham don't want us to talk about his team next week.
He'd rather us talk about it when they're losing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, they're bringing back down to earth a little bit. They got beat off Crawley in the trade, whatever trophy that's called now.
Mickey Mouse Cup.
Yeah, they got beaten that. We won it once, so we won it once. The only time, right up until the playoff final the year after, the only time we'd ever won at Wembley in my lifetime, and I couldn't go because it was COVID.
Oh,
it was behind closed
no.
doors. So never mind.
Oh no!
Is it still the John Smith's, not the John Smith's, the Papa John's trophy now?
No, because it's not, is it? Because they lost the sponsor, didn't they?
Right.
Well, I was told they lost the sponsor and they couldn't get anyone else to sponsor it.
Right.
But it's still known as the Pizza Cup to me.
Yeah, when we won it, it was the Papa John's. When I think we got beat off Portsmouth in the first year we were in League One, and it was the Checker Trade Trophy. So, call it the WeBuyAnyCar.com Cup or something along those lines. That'd be good.
It doesn't matter to me anymore. It was
just
a memory.
Chat, it's just a blip. It's just a blip.
Yeah. You've got the bars now, Shah, haven't you? You got the FA bars.
No, they ain't got the FA bars. That's like proper lower league clubs.
I know.
Oh, well.
Should we let Graham finally have his moment? We've kept him. We've kept him for a bit, haven't we? And do you want to speak about this game?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they went behind as well, obviously, through Jaden Stockley, who is a former Charlton player, a player who I really don't like, Jaden Stockley. When, honestly, we played Charlton. Was he at Charlton then? Or he was at Charlton, and he elbowed one of our players in the face. Referee missed it, all the lines missed it, and then went and scored. So, he shouldn't have been on the pitch from 2 score, and I've just, disliked him ever since. But obviously Fleetwood, and we've spoke about Fleetwood's, problems off the pitch. Obviously the owners go to prison and everything like that. 1-0 up at 1-0 up and going in half time. Alfie May, who I think is a fantastic sign of mine for Charlton. Good to see him getting on. I think they might have been one of the ones who spent a little bit of money on. And obviously Jason Pearce, who now is in charge of Charlton. Jason Pearce, a legend at the club, isn't he? So good to see him getting a go. And sometimes you see this quite often now, don't you, with caretaker managers? If they do start well, they end up getting the season, don't they? So we'll see what happens with him. And I don't think they can go far wrong from that if he wants it. And yeah, like I said, Alfie May scoring twice. Really, the second one's the first one's a well taken goal. Second one's a penalty, which it's an absolute stalwart. But if you get a chance to watch this this penalty, this is how you take a penalty. I always say that young players who I've coached in the past is just hit it down the middle because the keeper always moves. Just blast it as hard as he can down the middle. Is exactly what he did. And then he should have scored at the end. Getting into the end of a corner. And it was a very good save actually from the goalkeeper. And it would have been nice. But good to see. Obviously, Graham's in the chat. So he's saying there was shocking first half and a better team would have beaten them 3-0. Much better in second half. Scoring just before half time was key for us. It's the best time to score a goal, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Just before half time, it completely puts the opposition team's manager's notes out the window. He's got to he's got to write them up, and then see what happens. See what happens in the second. But fingers crossed, this is the turning point. I know I've said some things in this podcast, in this chat about the way Charlton are owned through Charlie Methven and Jim Rodwell and everything like that. And I just think it will end up in tears. But I really want a club like Charlton to be back where they belong. We never used to, we've had 2 playoff finals against them where the 2 times I've been most upset being a football fan. One when I was a child and one was literally like 5 years ago. And I cried my eyes out and I'm not ashamed to admit that. But I just want to see them back up there. I really do. So we'll see what happens with them. Just hopefully they've turned the corner now. So what's his yellow cards for then? Dissent or the crowd or whatever? We'll have to find that out off Graham there. But yeah, well done to Charlton anyway. I'm glad to see that they've won. Hopefully that's the start of something. see what Jason Pearce can do. I honestly wouldn't be shocked if we're talking about him in 2 weeks. They're
not playing, have they? There's only 2 games in League One, I think.
Yeah. But let's see what happens with him. Fingers crossed. Yeah, and hopefully Graham had a good Saturday night.
I was going to say, I know it's nice for him to be happy, isn't it? That's why we thought we'd feature this game in our featured games as well, because it's been sad, hasn't he? He's ranted about them as well, so it's only right we have his happy times. Cheltenham 0, Barnsley 2. Devante Cole again on the score sheet. A good win for Barnsley as well away from home. Been a bit hit and miss recently, haven't they? But I think that was expected, to be fair.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Cheltenham still haven't scored in the league this season, so great start for them.
Blimey. That's really not good, is it?
No.
Oh, Graham's back with us as well. Kicking a ball away, basically, and getting in the keeper's face after the penalty. Ooh.
Oh, I've got no bother with that. But take the yellow card.
Same.
No issues at all. No issues at all with that. I don't know if, speaking of that, I don't know if you guys ever seen this. Chris Maguire, when he was at Oxford, I think, the opposition goalkeeper was doing, the usual, blah, blah, blah. And then Maguire scored the penalty, ran in front of the goalkeeper and did a save. Afterwards.
I love it.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, I'm sure it was when he was at Oxford. Because we ended up signing him the season after, and that we called him the king up here. He was all right, to be fair, but it's quite funny, that one.
That's the kind of behaviour I actually like.
Definitely, yeah. It's like,
can't beat a bit of shithousing, can you?
Shithousery,
it's like the best thing.
Apart from if it's against you, and then you're like, ugh.
Oh no, see, I just laugh if it's against us as well, because it makes me laugh seeing people so wound up.
Yeah. I don't know if you, in fact, you probably won't have seen this. The Sunderland women played on Sunday, and the red card, it's actually on our How We Are the Lasses Twitter feed, but basically it was in the last couple of minutes of the game, and there was 11 minutes added on, and we were time wasting a bit. So one of our players has thrown the ball off another one of our players. So it's thrown a ball to one of our players to throw in. Our players pretended she wasn't looking, and it's hit her in the chin and gone to a Sheffield United player. The Sheffield United players picked the ball up and just threw it straight at our lad, straight in the chest, and get sent off.
Have a look at that.
It's on there. It's on the How We Are the Lasses. It's on the Twitter feed. I mean, it was so funny. I spent a podcast on Monday just laughing about it for 10 minutes. But it was absolutely hilarious. But sorry, I'm digressing. Sorry.
Oh no, don't worry. The next game is obviously Leyton Orient 0, Stevenage 3. Stevenage are flying, aren't they? At the minute, they really are. Yeah. And another manager who was rumoured to leave. Steve Evans got rumoured with the Hibs job, but he did.
Yeah, said he's not interested, didn't he?
Yeah, says he's not bothered. Yeah, the fair play.
Good on him. Northampton 0, Wickham 1. Could have gone either way.
A Northampton fan that you and I both know, Heidi, she messaged me the other day. Heidi. She said, Claire, you're glad you didn't go up. League One is brutal.
I've actually got up as well. Obviously, Wickham scored early on in the 5th minute, but Northampton completely dominated. They had 69% of the ball, 19 goal attempts to Wickham's 5. 11 were off target, though.
Oh my God, you'd be fuming, wouldn't you?
Absolutely fuming.
It just
have you ever been to Northampton?
Yeah.
No, I've not.
It's a crooked ground, isn't it? It's like a bit slanted.
Yeah.
This
was a while ago. I went a good few seasons ago, but yeah, it is.
I think it just goes to show with Northampton dominating the game that you can put any stat in front of you want, goals against, goals for, XG, PPI, or whatever. One stat matters, and that's the final result.
Yeah.
Got to put the ball in the back of the net.
Definitely.
Graham, that's an absolutely shocking line.
I know. Bless him. Who scored Port Vale's first goal? Who's going to try and say his name? Well, funny you say that, because I'm actually talking about this featured game. Ryan.
It's actually really easy. Iacovite.
There we go. I can say it now. Iacovite. With my northern twang.
Wait, change it to Ia. Iacovite.
Iacovite.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. See, we've been practicing, haven't we, Claire?
No, I just speak Italian.
But yeah, this featured game, Oxford 1, Port Vale 2. So it wasn't the most exciting game up until the final half an hour. And then Oxford striker Mark Harris was shown a straight red card in the 63rd minute following an off-the-ball clash with Vale captain Nathan Smith. I can say that name. Then Alex Iacovite then headed the visitors in front in the 74th minute, glancing home from Alfie Devine's free kick. What a signing he is as well. Then Greg Lee equalised at the far post 3 minutes into stoppage time. However, left back Lee's delight turned ugly moments later when he was shown a second yellow card for a trip which resulted in Port Vale being awarded a penalty. This is the final half an hour as well. So imagine being at that game and then all this happening. And then on loan Tottenham man Divine scored from the spot in 90 plus 9th minute to secure all 3 points to move Vale up to 4th in the table. Oxford, who were bidding for a 5th successive victory, dropped down to 7th.
Wow, they dropped that far down.
Yeah. But from what I've seen as well, the guy from Tottenham, that Divine, he pretty much was involved in pretty much everything. Cool penalty in the, like I said, 90 plus 9th minute, which we're all seeing a lot of, aren't we? At the minute,
Yeah.
all these extra minutes added on. Rightly so, they should be added on as well, because we've moaned about it enough, haven't we, that this time shouldn't be added on, and now it's all being added on. But yeah, a great result for Port Vale. One of the teams I thought would struggle this season as well, Port Vale, but they're off to a really good start.
They are, yeah. I'm just trying to dig out where they are in the league. They were in the 4th. So joint top, really, because there's 4 teams on 13. So that's a great start for them. Really good start.
Graham as well for his liner. I make no apologies, Claire. He's happy with his joke.
I mean, that's fair enough, but it just wasn't very punny.
I liked it, Graham. I liked it.
Yay.
I liked it.
Next result, obviously, Portsmouth 3, Peterborough 1. Great result for Portsmouth. I think Peterborough actually went 1-0 up. I'm sure they did. And then obviously Portsmouth scored 3. I think they had a man sent off I think it was quite late on.
Yeah, it was Joe Morrell, wasn't it?
Yeah, was it like the 89th minute or something? But obviously managed 89th or 85th or something, managed to hold on, but they were 3-1 up. But yeah, good home win for Portsmouth. Peterborough have been doing all right, to be fair to them this season. A bit of drama, wasn't there, in the transfer window?
Oh my God. Did you read about how that move fell through? Because I was like reading it before and I was shocked. So
what happened?
Clark Harris was at the team's hotel in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
And there was 5 hours to go of the transfer window. And he got a taxi from the team hotel all the way to Bristol, completed a medical, everything was agreed, like the fee was agreed, contracts were agreed, and Bristol Rovers failed to get the relevant paperwork through on time. So it fell through. But interestingly, I also read from Darren McAntony that Wrexham had made 3 calls about him the week before. And he said, I can't blame them, because even though they're in League 2, they're able to pay a hell of a lot more money than we are. And they'd called like literally 3 times, asking different questions, getting different information about him, seeing whether he'd be interested in moving, which, let's be honest, he would if the money's right, wouldn't he?
100%.
And you can't blame him for that. But then they just kind of lost contact. And like Darren McAntony is like, look, you need to tell us if you're planning to make a bid, because we need to plan for his departure. And if you want him, we need to line someone else up to cover that loss. Yeah. And they literally just blanked Darren McAntony and whoever at Peterborough for the remainder of the transfer window. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and if that wasn't bad enough, Wycombe have also reported him to the league, haven't they, for illegally approaching one of their players. So,
Oh, really?
Wow. Yeah.
I will say for Portsmouth, this might be the year that they finally get back up in the Championship. They're looking good. Colby Bishop's been a great signing for them. Really good player in Colby Bishop. He was at Accrington last year, earlier before, and scores a lot of goals. So good to say. Good to say. I'm not really that bothered about Portsmouth, but yeah, I think this is the year they'll finally get back up.
Yeah, good side. Cambridge United 1, Reading 0. Reading are struggling, aren't they?
They are. What a weird game to have on Sky on Monday night, though.
I know.
Cambridge versus Reading. I bet that's a first.
I suppose you've probably got to have a certain amount of games on, I suppose. And...
I would assume so, but I reckon there wasn't many other fans watching our bar Cambridge and Reading fans. Yeah, good 1-0 win though. Good. Cambridge are a good side. Good. Well,
a good side.
As I said before, well-run club. See what happens with them. But
seems to have kicked on from the struggles that they've had last year.
Yeah.
And interestingly, on the other side of things, Reading, their former keeper, Emiliano Martinez, has been nominated for the Ballon d'Or.
It's mad, isn't it? That is mad.
Wow.
I know, crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, that is crazy because he only signed for Villa as a number 2 as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then obviously he's just broke out and he's number 1 there now, and obviously won the World Cup and then been nominated for the Ballon d'Or. There we go.
Yeah. I do like him. I do like Emi Martinez. He cracks me
I like
up.
him. Yeah.
Some of the stuff he does is so humorous.
He's crazy.
Really
just seems like a funny human being.
Yeah. I mean, they do say that, don't about goalkeepers. You've got to be mental to be a goalkeeper, and he definitely,
that is true. That is true.
Definitely fits that bill. Yeah, fair play to him. Yeah.
He's definitely one you'd want at a party. He'd definitely amuse you, wouldn't it? Seems like good crack.
If we have an Absolute Football Lower League or Absolute Football podcast Christmas do, can we invite Emi Martinez?
I hope so. Honestly, that would make my life. And just looking at the table now, we have got Exeter City top of the table on 13 points, but joining them on 13 points, we've got Oldham. We've not got Oldham. I've got Oldham on my mind. We've got Bolton, then Stevenage on third. I can't even speak. Port Vale in 4th on 13 points. On 12 points, we have Portsmouth in 5th, Cambridge United in 6th, Oxford United in 7th. Then on 11 points, we have Lincoln City in 8th. Barnsley and Wycombe are both on 10 points. Derby, Blackpool, Peterborough and Shrewsbury all on 9 points. 15th, we have Northampton on 7 points. Charlton, Bristol Rovers, both on 6 points. We have Reading in 18th. Carlisle in 19th on 5 points. Then we have Leyton Orient just above the drop zone. And then we have Wigan 21st on 2 points, just below them, and the same points is Burton Albion. We have got Fleetwood, and then at the bottom we have Cheltenham, both on 1 point.
Yeah.
We have got our manager and player of the month for League One. So manager, Gary Caldwell, who we spoke about, do you think rightly nominated? 100%. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. He's doing brilliant there. Andy Crosby for Port Vale as well, I think. Yeah. What he's done so far.
Yeah. I mean, take away that 7-0 loss at Barnsley on day one. They've come back strong and they've just seemed to have used it as a catalyst to kick on, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's hard to believe that was them, wasn't it? Even though we're only 5-6 games into the season, that they lost 7-0.
I know, it's mad.
Away at Barnsley, and we're talking about their manager now being nominated for manager of the month. I bet that's a first.
I know. This next one as well, obviously, with Wigan and their struggles, we've got Sean Maloney nominated. Do you reckon that's a good decision as well? Rightly so?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
When you look at it, they'd be on 12 points. I really struggle converting minus into plus. So they started on -8.
Yeah.
It'll be 10. They're on 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I failed maths.
So I mean, they've had 3 league wins, lost 1 league match, and then they lost to Wrexham in the EFL Cup. But I think considering what's been going on at Wigan, to get a squad of players up for it, and sort of overturn that negative points like from the deduction, I think he's done a really good job. So I don't think he'll win it, but it's good to see him nominated.
100%, rightly so as well. Sam in the chat, Sean Maloney must have King of Wigan by now, at least the keys to the city.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone in the chat as well, please get involved and let us know who you would pick as manager and player of the month. Graham, he gets the pies from the city, not keys. I love that one.
Can't beat a pucker pie.
I love a pucker pie.
Bolty though.
Yes, good shout. And then our last one is Liam Manning from Oxford.
He would actually be my choice, to be honest, because I think a lot of people thought Oxford were going to struggle, and they haven't. He would. I know they lost the other day, but he would probably be my choice.
Yeah, but that was in September.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it would be him or Gary Caldwell, I think.
Yeah, I think they lost on the opening day at Cambridge, and other than that, they had 4 wins. I haven't got written how they did in the EFL trophy. Based on them, I think I'd pick Gary Caldwell. But
Sam's comment just made me laugh. Plymouth, I'm all about an oggy pasty.
What's an oggy pasty?
I don't know either.
No,
I'm intrigued.
That escaped me as well.
Oggy.
Oh. Yeah, fill us in, Sam.
And then we've got Mr. Luke in the chat as well. Sean Maloney, considering he is dragged Wigan from -10 points to 2 points in a month.
Was it -10? Sorry, I thought it was -8.
Yeah, I thought it was -8. If it was -10,
anyway, whichever it is, it's still.
If it was -10, then your maths are right, because that is 12 points. But no, I thought it was -8 as well. I'm not sure. If it was -10, then yeah, fair enough.
So what we all going for manager-wise then? I'm actually going to go for Sean Maloney. I agree.
I'm going for Caldwell.
I'm going to go Liam Manning, to be honest. Yeah.
Before we move on to the player as well, Sam, Claire, get yourself down to Plymouth for a cheeky huggy. It's a pasty shop, got through uni.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit far to go for a pasty. I've still
very
got
far for me.
Yeah, still got PTSD from my trip there one Saturday when we lost 4-1.
Oh, funny. So we've got Ryan, who's gone for Crosby. We have got Graham, Caldwell. Moving on to player as well. Send in your in the chat player of the month nominations who you think should get it. So we have, I don't even know how to pronounce this name.
Mandrew.
Danny Mandrew from Lincoln. We have got him. Do you think he's deserving of the nomination?
He's played 6 matches, is a left winger, scored 2 goals, 3 assists, created 7 chances, but he has been rated 7.13 on average in the month. But when you look at it, it's never below 7, and he seems to get a lot of man of the matches. The fans when because I try and look at what the fans are saying, and their fans are saying that he spreads the ball all over the field, and he's one of the reasons why they're doing as well as they are.
Love that. Ryan's got him as well. Carl Piagiani from Stevenage.
He is my pick.
He is a player.
In
League 2, he was a player as well.
We had him before we went down to the conference, and our fans were all gutted. I think it was. Do you know what? I might be wrong. It might have just been after we went down to the conference. I can't remember. Well, whenever it was, we loved him.
Sounds like he's a member of the mafia.
He has had 6 matches, 1 goal, 1 assist. He's created 5 chances. He's had 3 shots on target, 2 of which were blocked on the line. He's rated 7.56. They've got 4 clean sheets, which is the joint second best defence in the league. And he has got 3 ratings in the 8s, 2 in the 7s, and 1 in the 6. And he is rated overall 7.86. Can you tell I like stats?
I like it, Mo. I like it. You keep going with your stats, Claire. But yeah, I think I'd give it him. I do like Piergiani. Great player. Obviously, I got to see him in League 2 last season as well. But yeah, I like him. Martin Waghorn from Derby.
I might be being a bit harsh, but when I looked at his stats,
I like harsh, Claire.
I kind of thought,
why?
Really, right? I mean, fair enough. 5 matches, 5 goals, but when you consider 3 of those matches were 3 of those goals were in 1 game, which was against Peterborough away. He's created 1 chance, no assists. He's had only 2 clearances from other shots, and 1 was goal line. The game that he scored 3, he had a 9.6 rating. Every other match was in the 6s. His rate is 7.5 because of that 1 9.6.
Sam's comment. I might be being harsh, opening to Claire, ready to batter someone.
I don't get it.
I think it means you come across aggressive, Claire.
Do I?
No, it must be us Northerners. Oh, Graham, Claire woke up today and chose violence.
Oh, what for done?
We love the honesty, Bob.
Do you know what the worst thing is about this? I actually know Martin Waghorn.
We'll tell him that he needs to do better.
Clip it and send it him, and then next nomination he'll be scoring loads.
Bless him. Yeah, he's ex-Sunderland youth, and he played for Sunderland in the Premier League.
I changed my mind. It's absolutely fantastic.
No,
great team player.
I'm sure he'll be fine about it. I'm sure he'll be fine about it. Bless him.
And then last but not least, Charlie White from Wigan.
Yeah, I would have him in. I would have him up there. I wouldn't have him as my choice, but I think we've mentioned this a couple of times. I mean, just the fact he's playing and scoring goals is a miracle for him. So
yeah. And you have to consider that everything that he's been through he's had 6 matches, scored 5 goals, created 3 chances, no assists though. He's had 10 clearances from that he's made as a striker, defending corners. 1 or 2 of them have been goal line clearances, stopping the receiver from scoring. So it's not just about him scoring goals and getting in on that. His hold up play, strong, fans' favourite at Wigan.
Yeah, and to be fair about his lack of assists, he's not gonna set many up. He's a poacher, isn't he? When we were, did we get promoted that season? No, it might have been the season before. When it was White's last season for us, he scored 30 goals in that season in the league. So he's a League One, good League One footballer. So fair play, man. I love him. Waghorn is ex-Cov. He is ex-Cov. Brilliant. I don't know him that well, Graham. I don't know him. I haven't got his phone number. But yeah.
Oh, do you mean you just tweet him now and again and he might respond saying, "Hope
no, when he was at Sunderland. So when he got his debut and everything like that, one of my friends was playing for the same youth team as him. So I got to meet him a couple of times. And when he left, sent a few nice messages saying, obviously good luck and everything like that. And he went to Leicester and he missed one of the decisive plans to get Leicester back into the Premier League. So obviously I'd sent him a text and stuff like that, wishing him all the best and stuff like that. And
how did you send him a text if you not got his number?
I haven't got his number now.
Oh.
So there we are. I've changed phones. This was 10, 12 years ago.
I'm only joking.
This made me laugh in the chat. So Sam, he put, yes, the absolute interview with Martin Waghorn and Graham put, hosted by Clare, of course.
So what do you think about your time at Derby? You're not doing very well, are you? He goes,
could do a lot better.
Scored 5 goals. And I'm like, yeah, but one game was 3 of them. What are you doing the rest of the time?
We'll title the podcast, I'm Not Being Harsh, but...
I love it. Just you think, well, September, now obviously we've said all this on the podcast, he'll have a great month.
Oh, yeah.
Real team player. And it's all because of you, Claire.
Motivational.
I love it. Oh, that's really made me laugh. So, who's everyone's player of the month then? I'm going Carl Piagiani. I want him to win.
I'll go for Danny Mandrio. Have I said that right?
Yeah.
I think so.
I'll go for him.
What about you, Claire?
I'm so sorry I lost my earphones for a minute, but
who's your player of the month?
Carl Piagiani.
Yeah, love that. Sam?
Claire Grills.
Who needs Claire Grills when you see our Claire Grills?
Claire Grills, that's great.
So, Martin, you're scoring loads, but really it was all in one game. You need to up your game, fella. Claire,
because
look at that. Claire Grills from the village.
Do you know the worst thing is, right? I don't have a filter at work. I deal with a lot of celebrities, and I speak to them like I speak to you guys.
I love it.
And yeah, I really don't have a filter.
I've just snort laughed. I've got all Peppa Pig on you.
Now you know why I love speaking to you, Loons.
Honestly, I'm crying.
I'm just checking my phone that I've had nothing from Martin Waghorn but
Give me warning next time, will you?
Oh, I love it. Oh, God. I don't know if I can move on to these next 2 leagues.
Yeah.
League now. I'm crying.
League 2, you're knackered, we're done.
Yeah, let's skip it.
So, the first game, Tranmere Rovers 0, Wrexham 1. I'm not laughing at if there's any Tranmere fans, I'm not laughing at your result. If you've just come in right now, I promise. I've got nothing against you. I'll have Tranmere country. I don't know what's going on with it. I'm actually crying.
I'm crying, I know.
This is us 3 not on next week, isn't it?
I can only imagine the other guys like in the chat sitting at home laughing.
I'm gonna snort again.
At this very moment, Graham is taking off his glasses to wipe the tears from under his eyes.
Graham's glasses are steamed up. Oh God, I can't actually see. I can't see. Tranmere Rovers 0, Wrexham 1. The naughty boys of League 2 winning the game.
Oh my God, there's so much like with them this week, isn't there?
What's this crack with this transfer? Because I know you were going on about it last year and last week, sorry, in the when we did the transfer deadline, but I'd missed all that stuff. And
you mean Luke Armstrong?
Stuff, which I still, yeah, with Armstrong. What's the crack then?
I've read into this so extensively that it's unreal. I'll cut it short though. Basically, when Wrexham were in the conference, National League, whatever, everybody else had pretty much no transfer window. You could sign players up until like March. And Wrexham were actually ruled by the Welsh FA. So they had the same transfer window as all the Football League teams did.
Sorry, I'm not laughing. I've still got the giggles.
So they appealed to the National League to be able to sign players like everyone else, and the National League rejected them and said, no, you can't. You've got your rules. And then And then, right, I'm stopping now. Then Wrexham appealed to FIFA and said, this isn't fair. We're in this league. We should have the same rules as everybody else. And FIFA said, yeah, you're right. You should have the same rules. So from last season, they were allowed to sign players the same as everyone else in the National League. So then this season...
We're a horse down here, aren't we?
Just spilled my drink all over me.
Yeah, so this season they put a bid in for Luke Armstrong, and I think what the issue was with the time of the signing was because they were deciding whether that was the player they wanted, because they had a few options. So when they decided that they wanted it, they sorted it out. The transfer window shut at 11 o'clock. But they did not submit the paperwork until 11:50. And they thought that was okay because
I can't go. Right, I'm getting to the end of it now. Whew.
Right. They thought that was okay because
my mascara is everywhere. We've officially been sacked, haven't we?
Right.
Can I just apologise to everybody who's actually came in wanting to listen to the serious
I know,
talk
I'm
about
so
League
sorry.
2? We're done.
I know.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, they submitted their paperwork at 11:50, and they thought that was okay because under the Welsh FA, you have until midnight to submit paperwork. But the next morning,
did they think they were an hour ahead or something or other?
no, because they normally have
again.
They normally have an extra hour to submit paperwork under the Welsh FA rules, and they are still under the Welsh FA.
Right.
But
okay, I didn't know
because they are now in the English Football League, they have to abide by the English FA rules by registering a player at the right time.
Right.
So on Saturday, they were told that the transfer had failed because they hadn't submitted the paperwork on time. So what happened at that point is that they were pretty keen to appeal the decision, but they got all the paperwork and then decided that, in their absolute words, there is no reasonable chance of winning an appeal. Luke Armstrong will remain a Harrogate Town player. And I don't know if you've seen it. What an absolutely classy statement from Harrogate's manager.
Yeah, I saw that, yes.
It's really classy. It's so understanding, like empathetic. Like, I just think it's such a good approach. And to be honest with you, I kind of hope at this point that Luke Armstrong's like, well, actually, I can't have been that much of a target if you left it till then. I hope he kicks on, he smashes the next few months, and I hope he gets a move to League One, because he really deserves to. He deserves better.
He does.
Yeah.
And the amount of different things coming out.
You've got to feel sorry for the player as well, haven't you? Because obviously he's in limbo.
Yeah,
and
that's what Harrogate's manager said. He was like, it's been ongoing. There's a fee had been agreed. Him and his partner had started to look forward to, a move. Like, it would have been a move to a different place. Like, they were getting heads around it, starting to plan everything, and then like to the point that he was in Wrexham, had signed the contract and everything. But it just shows, don't leave your shit till the last minute.
That's it.
Yeah, but anyway, good 3 points for him in what they've classed as a derby.
I don't know how they think they can get away with it though, Wrexham.
I honestly didn't realise that even though they were in the National League last year, that they were still abiding by the Welsh FA rules. I really didn't know that, so that's interesting. That.
Yeah. Mental.
Yeah, it was all weird, but yeah.
I'm just trying not to laugh now. I'm trying my best to stay
We
serious.
got through that,
I
didn't
can
we?
see your mascara there.
I know
though,
it's
and
all been. I've
making
been
me
crying. I know. I'm in there. Honestly, I do apologise to anyone in the chat that, like Ant said, who did want a serious League Two football conversation.
Let's be honest though,
apologise.
if they thought it was serious when they saw us three, then they would have quickly found out that it's not anyway.
I mean, to be fair, we've got to talk about Stockport and Crawley. You know, Claire needs a big laugh before she talks about that. So,
oh
yeah.
my God, do
yeah.
I?
We've got National League to go as well.
I know. Crewe Alexandra 3, MK Dons 1. A great result for Crewe.
Yeah. So Crewe were looking to extend their 10-match unbeaten run at home. And obviously we're facing a free-scoring MK Dons. So Charlotte, you need to stop looking at that mascara because that's what's bothering me now. Lecco put MK Dons 1-0 up. It was a deflected shot after Crewe had failed to clear the ball. It was just kind of one of those that they should have done better with. But in the 62nd minute, Connor Thomas scored his first of the season. It was a really lovely goal from the edge of the box. And then only 7 minutes after that, Courtney Baker-Richardson made it 2-1. And it was like a right poacher's finish. The keeper had parried a shot and he just stuck his foot out. I've just kicked to the air, by the way, so just so that you can visualise that, everybody. He stuck his foot out and just happened to go into the net. Sadly, even though it had ended his 12-match goalless drought, he did injure himself in the process of flicking his leg in the air. So God knows what's up with him. God knows how long he'll be out. But just, I suppose, if you've not stuck your leg out for a while, then it's going to happen, isn't it?
Oh, good grief.
I can't believe I just said that. I can't believe I just said that.
This made me laugh as well.
Yeah, mascara's still all right for him. Yeah, thanks. Was that Chris Long you mentioned there? The Crewe lad?
So we've not mentioned him yet.
No, because he's honestly, he's got to be a good age as well, Chris Long.
MK Don's defence was found napping, and Chris Long did put Crewe 3-1 up after being given a lot of time and space with only the keeper to beat. There was a lovely cross from the left-hand side, but he was completely unmarked in the box. So, you know what? I think my grandma could have scored that goal. It was just one of them where you're looking and you're like, all the good that you hear about MK Dons, like they score so many goals, but clearly, if you find a way past that defence, then there's no stopping you, really.
This is what Ryan's put. Charlotte, the only problem to her eyes was the pollen until Claire happened. Sam, if you haven't stuck your leg up for a while, Claire's coming back out.
This is better than therapy, guys. You've got to admit. This is why I love Thursdays.
From that MK Dons game. First one, Lecco, the goal scorer for MK Dons, was a Premier League player not so long ago for West Brom. Jonathan Lecco.
Was he?
And was highly rated. Highly
was
rated as well. His career's really gone downhill. And also Chris Long, who scored the last one, who was a legend like a Crewe, is older than me. And I'm 37 and he's still playing football. That's madness. Madness.
Yeah, good, fair play to him. Fair play to him. Shows that, you know, if you keep your body in the right shape, then you can do whatever you want to in terms of being a footballer.
Yeah. He sticks his leg out more often than the other guy, I think. Longevity.
Moving on, Doncaster 0. It could have been a more exciting game for us to move on to. Doncaster 0, Swindon Town 0.
The reason why Nick isn't on the podcast this week, there was nothing to talk about from that game, apparently. So,
Grimsby are doing really well. Oh no, wait, that was Nick. What's happened to us?
Grimsby 2, Gillingham 0. Poor Scoops. This is why Scoops hasn't been on in so many weeks. He could do every show when they were winning, and then suddenly, because they've been dropping points, he's not available.
So fickle.
I mean, we've all been on when we've lost, haven't we?
Look what fun you're missing.
I know. This is probably the reason why he's not coming on anymore. Because of us three. Not Gillingham. And Graham as well. I was under the impression that Gillingham were massive.
No, they're only a tiny club in Kent.
She's right. Harrogate Town 0, Barrow 1. I mean, Barrow are doing really well. I've seen today, though, aren't they linking Pete Wild with Fleetwood?
Fleetwood, that's their number one target, apparently.
Yeah. If you are Mr. Wild in that, please do not go Fleetwood.
No.
Stay where you are and build a legacy with Barrow. See how far you can get in the season.
Maybe not build a legacy with Barrow. Maybe, pick the right move.
Don't go to Fleetwood, basically, we're trying to say.
Fleetwood.
Stay away.
Yeah.
If you are watching Pete Wild, don't go.
Yeah.
If you are watching Pete Wild, sorry.
I thought someone had updated his bio on Wikipedia, because I only found out the other day that he used to manage England amputees.
Really?
He did. Yes.
Yeah.
He did.
That was his first job as a manager, was England amputees. How good's that?
It comes across so well. I really like him, mate. Not just as a manager, I think as a guy as well.
Mm.
It's totally off subject now, but it's to do with Pete Wild. But the last few times we've had her game 2, dedicated fixtures, apart from Saturdays, they were against Barrow. And the players there, and just like him himself, they're honestly so nice. So,
no, I can't stand him. It's that fist bump that he does whenever they win.
Oh,
hey, go to bed, mate.
Oh, I like him, me.
No, not for me.
Sam, bet Pete Wild has had an Oggy pasty.
Maybe he's not, and that's his problem.
Yeah. You won't get one of them in Fleetwood.
No.
Pete Wild.
Mansfield 0, Bradford 0. Should we just skip that because it's pretty boring, isn't it?
Good result from Auckland, though, beating Salford. That's a
very good result.
Yeah, very good result.
Slowly getting to Stockport County. I can't wait.
I know, I'm sorry. Newport 2, AFC Wimbledon 2.
Newport doing well.
Right. Yeah.
Newport, but I didn't know till Tuesday that Wimbledon are unbeaten this season, aside from losing in the EFL Cup to Chelsea.
Yeah, and they took the lead against them as well, didn't they? They were winning for a long time against Chelsea as well. But Newport, I always remember the preview pod that we did, and so many Newport fans had them to go down.
They
did really, really well. I think they're
doing seriously well. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, their fans weren't expecting much at all, were they?
No, they weren't. No.
Notts County 3, Accrington 1. I mean, Notts County are top now, I think, and I think they'll do well this season. I think we said on a preview pod as well that they do well, but I think they will finish.
I thought they'd do well, but I thought that they'd struggle in defence. Not necessarily like concede more than they'd score, but I thought because they're a very attacking team and they have a lot of holes in the defence last season.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought if they continued with that same style that they'd maybe struggle to... And then when they lost on the first match of the season, was it 5-1? Something like that.
Yeah.
I thought, maybe they will struggle a little bit. But look, they've kicked on from that and stuck the foot in the way, clearly.
It's been similar to the Port Vale situation in League One, hasn't it? Where they've had that beating the first game of the season by quite a big margin, and then they've kicked on.
Yeah.
Just showing as well how important Macaulay Longstaff is to them, and he's kind of made the jump of the league quite easy, hasn't he?
It fumes me because he was in the building ready to sign for Stockport County before he joined Notts County, and our clueless manager at the time, Simon Rusk, said, "No, he won't fit into our style of play. We don't want him." Sent him packing. Oh my God.
I'm fairly confident, Mr. Luke's in the chat. I'm fairly confident he's ex-Gateshead, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Yeah. Next one.
Here we are.
Go on, Claire. Say whatever you want. We've already laughed. Now we can have anger. Come on, throw it at us.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. We started really, really well. Even like highlights, even Crawley's manager, he said he was worried in the first half. So Louis Barry opened the scoring on the 13th minute for us. He hit such a nice goal, like kind of skip past one player and unleash this shot at such a fierce pace. There was absolutely no way that Adai could get to it, like just no chance. And then on the 36th minute, good old Paddy Madden sends a lovely through ball to Anthony Sarcevic, and he absolutely smashed the ball in the net to put us 2-0 up. We were cruising. We looked dead threatening. We were actually doing the thing that I've said we need to do. We were getting the ball down, playing it through the middle, like passing it around. Like, we did have crosses, but we were playing the ball, like, and we just looked really, really good. And then it was against a run of play, just before half time. I've not written down what minute it was. I think it was like the 42nd minute or something like that. They pulled one back. Adam Campbell it was. And once again, I've said his name so many times and I love him. So it really pains me to say it, but Akil Wright just was in no man's land. He lost his man and the guy pretty much had unmarked ball. Then into the second half, I don't know if you've seen it, but Lawrence Maguire, who's a new loan signing from Chesterfield, couldn't get in Chesterfield's side. He had such a good game, but it doesn't happen very often. He just like out-muscled and showed some strength to win a tussle with Fraser Horsfall. And he just like kind of stuck his foot out and managed to slot the ball past Ben. And then he did that shithouse thing that I just really love, so I can't be mad at. He went knee sliding in front of the Cheadle end, like looking up to all our fans, like fist pumped the air. Like, he was buzzing. But there is history because obviously we had a battle with Chesterfield in 21-22. So there is a little bit of history, and I can't say bad of it because I love it. So then anyway, in the 66th minute, Orsi got the ball. There was some stupid defending where the ball was bouncing here, there and everywhere, but it made its way through to him and he made it free to honestly, our defence, and I say collectively, I would say our whole defence was just half asleep. They were caught napping and they were like, we were stunned because, and I'm going to put this out here, Crawley were hands down the worst team I have seen in a long time. They were absolutely shocking. Absolutely awful. They had a lot of the ball, but I think we had most of the ball, but most of the time that they had the ball, they were just passing it around the defence. Yeah. Like, they weren't doing anything. I'm pretty sure, like, their manager said that it was one of the best points that they'll pick up this season, and that says a lot. But we equalised in the 89th minute. It was a really, really nice ball from Cottrell, who is on loan from Swansea. And I have to say, because, you know, we've said that it's from the village, so hold my hands up, whatever. He brought the ball down. He put a really lovely ball through. And Tanto just took the ball so tremendously well and slotted past Adai to make it 3-3. I've been an open critic of Tanto because I think a lot of the time, and I think it's more frustration than anything, you can see that he has so much potential, but he doesn't have the confidence to back it up. And you'll see that he'll say there's a 2-on-1, for example, and by that I mean, like, we've got two attackers, be there one, he will look to pass the ball rather than taking it on himself. He just doesn't seem to have that much confidence in himself. But you know what, he's got like 3 goals in 4 games or something, 3 games. So I really just hope that it starts him on the right foot and that he starts to believe in himself more, because he has got no reason to doubt himself. You know, our fans sing his name, they support him. He just needs to back it up. We bought him for a lot of money and needs to show the potential.
I wondered where you went then.
Guess what's just happened? lovely Ant-Man has just rang me. Have you just rang me, Ant?
Was that me? Oh, sorry. I had a missed call on my phone. I was like checking to see who it was. I was meant to text somebody, and then.
And here's me having a gushing tribute saying that Tanto needs to believe in himself more. To me,
I literally just noticed that you'd rang me. I do apologise.
I didn't mean to ring you. To be fair, I didn't know I had.
So, I'm gonna
some positives, standouts. Nick Powell in the first half, especially. I mean, he was our man of the match, but first half especially, he was outstanding. Some of the balls that he played, some of the passes he made, the positions he got himself in. Oh my God, if he can keep that up, he will. And I'm saying it with all the confidence, he will tear up this league. He just needs to have that form consistently and we'll be fine.
Great signing, Nick Powell, to be fair.
Louis Barry, oh my God, Louis Barry. I cannot say it enough. We're such disappointment when the season finishes and he goes back to Aston Villa, because you should never fall in love with a lone player. No. He is insane. And the fact that he's just signed a new contract there, so they must rate him, but he was out on loan last season at Salford. So I'd like to see us try and keep him if he continues as he is. He's already got his own chant. He's loved because he 100% puts the effort in every single game, every game. And also, I've put Tanto down as a positive because he's scoring.
Yeah.
I just really hope it does his confidence the world of good, because there's nothing more frustrating than looking at someone and being like, you can do it. You need to believe in yourself. You need to back yourself.
You just want to give him a shake, don't you?
Yeah. And do you know what? He's such a nice lad. When we were at, I don't know if I've spoke about this, but in pre-season we had a game in Spain, and me and my best friend Hannah took advantage and went out to Spain for 4 nights. And as chance would have it, we ended up being in the same hotel as the players. And he is such a lovely, lovely guy. He's dead bright. He'd be reading a book in the shade, or there was one time he was playing chess. And, it just seems like he's a quiet, reserved, but lovely person. And it's that kind of person I'm like, please do well. Please, I'm backing you. I really, really want him to do. Anyway, issues for me at the minute, we've got 10 injuries. So name a squad for me that wouldn't struggle if they've got 10 injuries.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous. So we have got a bad start, and that is a negative. the 10 injuries are negative. But you know that every team will struggle with that. So
100%.
We're still 2 points above where we were at this point last season.
Yep.
And look how we ended up. So I fully back us to turn it around, and I back us to go one better and go up this season. But we do have a really split fan base at the minute. We've got a lot of people calling for Dave Challoner to be sacked. People saying, I can't believe that people aren't calling for him to be sacked.
It's far too early, isn't it?
Honestly.
Yeah.
Far too early.
We did our very first Twitter space on Tuesday night called Hatters Hangout, and we did a poll before it. Do you think we can turn it around and get promoted? I think it was like 60% said yeah. So it is still quite a split thing.
Yeah.
And what frustrates me as an issue is it's no longer that we can't score. We're now scoring, but we can't defend.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Like, Jesus. At least we've stopped the short corners, so there is a God. It did look really bad, though, because when that second goal went in for Crawley, it just seemed to deject our players, and there was such a visible, like, and especially after the third, it was just such a visible, like a slum, like, here we go again. And it was really frustrating to see. They looked kind of like fearful, like they were scared. And I don't know if that's just because they're in a bad run, they've maybe not got the best of mentality, or it might be that I don't know, maybe Dave Challoner's not geeing him up as he should be. I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm not at training or anything like that.
I think you need to be after.
I know, yeah.
After the Player of League One's Player of the Month awards and our latest critiques.
I know. I think there was some talk after the Mansfield match that Ethan Pye's parents were sitting next to one of our fans and turned around to him and said, Dave Challoner doesn't talk to the players. And funnily enough, when Chris Hussey left at the end of the season, one of his comments was that the manager doesn't talk to you, he doesn't get to know you. And it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think there's a fine line in there, because if you go to work, do you expect the big boss to be like, how was your weekend? Did you go out? What did you have for your tea? Like, there's people, like, there's coaches, there's everyone else. Like, I'd expect him to talk to him and be there for him on a level, but he doesn't need to know every single inch of your life.
Yeah, of course.
So I don't know, like, there's clearly some kind of disparity, maybe something that's going on, but I do back us to turn it around. Unfortunately, we don't have the easiest run of games coming up.
Are you playing on Saturday?
Yeah, we've got Wimbledon away.
The
good thing with that is that half of Wimbledon's team
and the ex-Stockport.
Yeah, so you've got Ryan Johnson joined him permanently in the summer. Jimmy Ball joined him permanently in the summer, but that was from Rochdale. So Ryan Johnson left Stockport and joined Wimbledon on a permanent transfer. And then they've got Joe Lewis and Connor Evans on loan. So obviously the thing is with those two can't play. They're not allowed to play against parent clubs. So Joe Lewis has been outstanding for him, apparently. He's been the star player, and he has scored, is a defender. He scored, and apparently is like 90% of the reason why the defence is doing as well as it is. Which I'll come on to in my stats when we talk about the manager of the season. So we've got Wimbledon away on Saturday, MK Dons away the Saturday after, and then we've got Wrexham. at home. So
that is a difficult run, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got a tough run coming up.
Yeah.
And I suppose, like, in a way, you know, we get a couple of positive results. It probably starts us on the right path. So fingers crossed.
It always happens when they expect it as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, against them teams as well. Did Liam Kelly happen to play against you for Crawley? Small midfielder. He signed from us, obviously, you know.
Yeah, he
in
did.
The summer, did
Very small, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a very frustrating player because you know he's got the ability, and he's very like, it can do like the tricky things, and he looks good, but he's so
can't
lazy.
He can't win a header though, can he?
He's so lazy as well, and it's so frustrating.
Someone needs to buy him a pair of stilts so that he can jump.
Bless him. Oh, bless him. Moving on to the other games, we've got Sutton United 0, Forest Green 1. Sutton are really struggling so far, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think they'll continue to struggle.
I do. They've had a good couple of seasons, haven't they? Like in this league, but I think they'll be one of them down there.
Yeah.
Walsall 1, Colchester 0. Expected, to be honest. It's a weird one with Colchester because obviously they pulled off that win against Gillingham, but they're a very strange side as well, aren't they?
See, I don't know. I don't think there'll be that much between Walsall and Colchester. Maybe
I don't.
Colchester, they always just seem to find something in the locker. But yeah, I mean, you wouldn't get anything other than a narrow result in that match. I don't think.
Yeah.
And then the league table, I'm hoping I've done this right.
Skip.
I know. So we have got Notts County top on 13 points, and then we have got MK Dons and Gillingham on 12. Barrow in 4th place on 11. AFC, Wimbledon, Newport and Mansfield make the playoffs on 10. But also on 10 points, we have Accrington in 8th, Morecambe in 9th. Then we have Swindon, Crewe, Grimsby and Wrexham all on 9 points. We have got Walsall in 14th, Bradford 15th and Crawley 16th, all on 8 points. Below them in 17th, we have Salford and Forest Green, both on 7 points. Harrogate in 19th on 6 points. Stockport just below them on 5 points. And we have Tranmere and Colchester just above relegation on 3 points. Sutton also on 3 points, but sadly they are in the relegation. And then below them, we have Doncaster, who are rock bottom, on 2 points. Let's quickly have a look at manager. Right, so we have Graham Alexander for MK Dons.
Yeah, they're up there, aren't they?
Definitely.
Yeah, probably expected, but yeah, I think it's a good one.
Yeah. Neil Harris from Gillingham.
Yeah.
They had a really good start, didn't they?
Probably through the month of August, I think that's fair, isn't it? Through the month of August, obviously they have tailed off a little bit in September, but
yeah.
I just wanted to start winning again so we can see Scoopsy back, to be fair.
I know, where is it? We have got Johnny Jackson, AFC Wimbledon.
Very well deserved.
That's a good shout as well. Yeah, very well deserved. And Luke Williams as well, Notts County. Like we said, they had that blip at the beginning on the first game, but they've kind of pushed on from them, haven't they? And the top, so
yeah. And because
really
of that early defeat on such a thumping fashion, lost in the EFL Cup, home to Lincoln. They've won 3 league games, lost 1, drew 1. Johnny Jackson from Wimbledon, though, I think he's my pick. And the reason being, 7 games, they're a team that were touted to be a struggle. They're unbeaten in the league. They beat Coventry in the EFL Cup at home.
Yeah.
They lost very narrowly and unluckily to Chelsea away in the same cup. So they've lost. In the league, they've got 3 draws, 2 wins, scored 10, conceded only 5.
He'd be mine.
And it's the best defence in the league.
Yep. Ryan has gone for Luke Williams. And who would you go for?
If we're going off the month of August, as much as we take the make out of Scoops, I think Neil Harris probably deserves it. You know, they hadn't conceded a goal, won 1-0. It was looking so good. But I would say honestly, if I'd picked all four of them, I'd be behind all four. If you know what I mean by that.
You can put up quite a. Yeah.
Do you know what shocks me though when I was looking into the stats? Like when Gillingham win, they win narrowly normally. When they lose,
they
concede. On. So they've got 4 league wins, 1 league defeat. The EFL Cup, they beat Southampton at home. That was an amazing result for them. And then they lost away at Luton, but they've scored 9 goals in all competitions and they've conceded 7.
Yeah.
They gave Luton a game as well, though, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So I think they will come back, but like I said, I'm stuck between Neil Harris and Luke Williams, to be honest. I think
they are,
to be fair, such a good job.
Well, they are a horrible team to play against, and that's credit to Neil Harris, really.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm just going to edge towards Harris just for being August manager of the month. Yeah.
Good choice. Player of the month as well. What we all thinking for these?
Will Evans for me, for Newport. He's on fire, so I'm going for him, definitely.
Yeah, but...
You're not being harsh, but...
I'm not being harsh. He's got 6 matches, 7 goals. He's got a hat-trick. And he's got a match where he scored 2. So in 2 games, he scored 5. And in 4 games, he scored 2. So he's done well, don't get me wrong. There's no doubt in that. But for me, Davis Keeler done. Mansfield are struggling because of all the injuries.
Yeah, that's true.
6 matches, 5 goals, 1 assist, created 12 chances, rated 8.05, which is the highest of all of them, which doesn't mean anything really. It's what they bring, but he's got a 74% accurate pass rate. He's known to pass the ball about, hold the ball up, get in weird positions. He scored obviously against us from a short corner. But he just seems to... I don't know, is the best player I've seen so far, so he'd be my pick.
Yeah, I think I go for him. I think they've all got a good shout, though, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think they've all done really well. You can put up a case for all the managers and all the players, can't you?
Definitely.
Whereas some of the championship are a bit like, oh, why has he been nominated and stuff? But for all these ones, I think you could put up a really good case. And to be fair, I think they're all deserving of it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Completely agree with any of them. I think Johnny Jackson for me, and I think Keeler done 100%. Tom has put Elliot Lee not even there. No.
Ex-Newcastle captain's son. No, he's a great player, to be fair, lately. So, he probably should have been there, to be fair. But he'll probably get it at one point this season, sorry, won't he? So give someone else a go.
Yeah, definitely. And the last league we will go on, we have got the National League. So one of our featured games, Aldershot 3, Chesterfield 4. Oh my gosh, I could not keep up. So it was actually Chesterfield who came out and got all 3 points. Joe Quigley's late winner allowed Chesterfield to snatch all of the points. It was a 7-goal thriller away to Aldershot. Both teams doing decent at the minute. Aldershot did open the scoring note in the 25th minute when Josh Stokes pounced on a loose ball in to fire the Hulse into the lead. Chesterfield levelled just 8 minutes later when a corner came in. There was a goal-mouth scramble. And Ryan, I think he's called Colclough, was able to get onto the end of that. The visitors then took the lead 3 minutes into the second half when Jeff King's cross was blocked and Will Grigg took the ball past Jack Bycroft. We all know that name, don't we? Will Grigg's on fire.
Yeah, but King...
He's not been.
No. King, hate him.
You don't like Chesterfield,
my face,
do you?
I can't stand the man.
I don't mind Chesterfield. We just had, obviously, a bit of battle with him to win the league, but King is
not keen.
Gherkin.
It's probably the one time, and probably the only time, that a song is better than the player.
Yeah. I know.
It really is true about Will Grigg because he's.
I know. He did have a good Bit of time for them though, didn't he? For a little while for Wigan, wasn't it?
He got into the Northern Ireland squad for I think it was the Euros on that song. That's how he got into the squad, but no.
And then Chesterfield added a third in the 54th minute when Tom Naylor headed home from a close range for his second goal in 2 games. But home side did pull one back 6 minutes later after Laurent Tallage, I think he's called, found Jack Barham in the box and the forward scored a tap-in. And then Barham added a second to equalise in the 84th minute with a header from Ollie Harfield's cross. But in Chesterfield style this season, as they already have done a couple of times, quickly found the winner in the 87th minute. And on the 90th minute, Theo Widrington got a second yellow just to add to Aldershot's frustration. So, yeah, really frustrating from an Aldershot point of view, but it doesn't surprise me with Chesterfield. They did it against Hartlepool. I think they did it earlier on in the season as well. I can't remember who they were playing.
Yeah, they've gone joint top with that as well, and I think
they have.
I rate them to pretty much stay there now.
Yeah, definitely. They were one of my favourites, obviously, to go up before the league even started. I just think after, obviously, last season, competing against Notts County and obviously your Wrexhams and stuff, they were one of my favourites. But who knows this season, because it's a very strange league, this league, that's all I'll say. Altrincham 1, Bromley 2. We've got Boreham Wood 0, Barnet 1. Barnet are doing really well this season so far. Dagenham and Redbridge as well, another team who didn't have a great start, but they've been winning the last few games. They beat AFC Fylde 3-1. I always like seeing that. I don't like Fylde. Mm-hmm. Sorry for us any Fylde fans.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
In the chat or at all?
Anywhere. I'll just go to the chat as well. Ryan, done your homework, chat? Yeah, I have. I've got my notes up as well. Graham, if you finish with Chesterfield this year, you'll go up.
Agree.
Yeah, totally.
And then we've got Mr. Luke. Hard fought point for us, and it's showing we never give up until the end and never back down from 0-1 and 1-2 up.
That's what you want as a fan, though, isn't it?
Definitely. And he said as well, Oldham were a very disappointed side considering the players. Yeah, they keep getting red cards as well, left, right and centre, Oldham. But I'm not going to say anything because guarantee on Derby Day, they'll end up beating us. So my mouth is staying shut. But yeah, Dorking 0, Eastleigh 0. Another one of our, not a featured game, but someone I really did want to speak about was Ebbsfleet 4, York City 1. I've mentioned a couple of times on the pod. I did some reading up before, obviously, the season started on Ebbsfleet because, obviously, never really heard of them before. And that's not obviously being bad. I just never, like, obviously, us coming down, it wasn't a team I was familiar with. But a lot of people had them in the predictions quite high up for a team who've obviously just been promoted. And to be fair to him, we didn't see it much opening game of the season, but I've seen glimpses of them in some of their games from highlights, and they're a very good footballing team. They come to play football, and they're a very attacking team as well. Don't get me wrong, York are in really bad form at the minute, but just throughout the season, they've pulled off some good results, Ebbsfleet, and they're in the playoffs. But they've actually scored 14 goals so far. So obviously it shows they're an attacking team. They've won 4 games. They've lost 3 games, which I think is pretty good for a team who have just been promoted. And yeah, I think the promoted sides, both them and Oxford City, one of them as well, I think they've been doing really well. So I just wanted to give them a shout out. But from a York City point of view, very disappointing. They've signed quite a lot of players. They've got a bit of money behind them as well, but they've not really gelled that well. They've not really been picking up great results. I know the last few games they've kind of, barring this one, they've picked up the odd point here and there, but they've actually just appointed Neil Ardley as their manager, someone very familiar with MK Dons. He got promotion with them to League One, and that was after winning the playoffs. That was in 2016. He's managed Notts County before as well, and Solihull Moors, but in the summer, I think it was, they terminated his contract. I think it was from mutual consent. So I'm not really sure what happened there. But yeah, I think he's a manager with a lot of experience behind him. So just see what happens.
Yeah, and Solihull always seems to be there or thereabouts. So
Definitely.
it's a really good appointment for York, I reckon.
100%. It's with York, I didn't really know what to expect with them because they have signed some decent players and they have got money behind them. But obviously, we've seen it with other teams before where if you just sign too many players, they need time to gel, don't they? If they just all don't really fit, they need the time. And to give them their due, when we played against them, we ended up winning. We got penalties and stuff. They had a man sent off, but you saw glimpses and they actually did play quite well. But hopefully this new appointment can take them up a bit because they are still in relegation. Hartlepool 2, Willstone 1. Hartlepool, I think they're doing very decent, to be fair. They've got a couple of injuries at the minute. I think it's key injuries as well. I wasn't really sure what to expect with Hartlepool this season, but yeah, they've started off really well in the National League, picking up some good results.
Yeah, dead pleased about that.
I am.
Definitely.
I do like Hartlepool.
Yeah, great
I've got a soft spot for him.
I've got a soft spot for Hartlepool as well. It was kind of a lot of Hartlepool fans. I built a friendship with them as well because obviously we were going through the same thing last season. We had like each other to talk to. Maidenhead 0, Woking 0, Rochdale 0, FC Halifax Town 1. I've not really got much to say about this because I can't really put up a case for us. We were awful. If it wasn't for Louis Molden, our goalkeeper, would have obviously lost to a lot more goals. But then again, I don't think Halifax were that great. They just managed the game a lot better than us. Even if we had another extra hour, we still wouldn't score. It was that bad. It just
one of them games.
Really didn't happen for us. Obviously, we've got Ian Henderson playing up front, who's great, but he's our only option at the minute. Devante Rodney's obviously out poorly, so that can't really be helped. Don't really know what's going on with him at the minute. He's got a lot of chest problems, so he's having x-rays on that, so we don't know how long that'll be, but it's kind of taken its toll on Hendo a little bit. It was really good because it was his 400th appearance, which is absolutely brilliant.
It's mental.
I know, absolutely brilliant, but I just feel a bit sorry for him at the minute because obviously it's taken his toll. He's injured himself, a minor injury, but we've literally got no other options. So it was just one of them games where you just knew we were going to lose.
They just happen, don't they, sometimes? Yeah,
100%. And I think we're going to be one of them teams this season. And it was so nice. And we've had a good start. So I can't fault us whatsoever.
And it wasn't a set piece.
It wasn't a set piece, no. But it was so frustrating, honestly. You know, when you just know what's going to happen and you can just tell. But I think we're going to be one of them teams this season where you win some, you lose some kind of thing.
You know what, though? That's not a bad thing after having such a bad season. Have a season to stop the rot, then build from there.
Exactly. Honestly, I completely agree.
And a bit of sad news from Halifax as well because Tom Clark has had to retire from football because of persistent knee injury. That's sad news for him. So that was their captain.
Yeah, that's really sad. Obviously, it's awful to see.
Yeah,
players having to retire because of injuries and stuff and something.
But he is 35, so I guess he's had a pretty good career.
Yeah, definitely.
Smashed it in the championship and that, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Solihull Moors 3, Oxford City 3. Oxford City, I tell you what, to be fair to them, they're doing well. They're unbeaten in 4 matches, obviously since losing their opening 3 matches. The away side took a 12-minute lead thanks to Ollie Sanderson's header. However, it was short-lived when 8 minutes later, Gus Mafuta drilled, I think it's Mafuta, he drilled home Solihull's equaliser from the edge of the box and then took a 28th minute lead when wing-back Joe Newton slotted home at the far post. Oxford scored soon after half-time when Josh Parker smashed a 20-yard effort. Honestly, it was a great goal. a 20-yard effort past Tommy Simpkin for his 5th goal of the season. An action-packed second half continued with a superb Simpkin save, preventing Parker from putting Oxford ahead again. Solihull were then celebrating the 3rd goal when Kyle Morrison headed home from a corner in the 75th minute, but it just wasn't enough. Oxford salvaged a point when Josh Ashby struck level with 9 minutes to go. And Oxford City, I think we beat them 1-0 from what I remember. It was our first away game of the season. We won 1-0, and it was one of them where I thought to myself, like, you can tell they've just come up, but to be fair to them, they were grafters. And it honestly, it was a difficult game for us. We won 1-0, and it was a very difficult game for us, but they've kicked on. They're doing all right now, but they're another one of them teams where I thought these are definitely going straight back down again. And although it is still early days, I do see quite a bit of potential in these.
I'm going to go down.
They have been in that league before, because
they have. I'm sure they have. Yeah,
we played. Oh, actually, no, we played them in the Conference North.
Oh, was it the Conference North?
Yeah, I think it's the first season in the conference.
Is it the first season?
Yeah.
Honestly, from what I've seen, they've got some potential because, like I said with us, and it was our 2nd game of the season. And obviously, there were still players that we've got a lot of new players, so they're still gelling and stuff. But they did make it quite difficult for us. So I will put up a good case for them. I think they have got some potential. And
I don't remember much about them. I just remember it being the coldest I've ever been at a football match.
Southend winning again. I think that's brilliant for them, obviously. Their struggles and stuff. Beat Kidderminster 2-1. I'm not going to say much on Kidderminster because we have got them this weekend. So I'm not going to slag them off or anything.
I've got written down here as well, though, that Southend have appealed to the local council to step in and stop them from going bust because they don't think they're going to be able to raise the funds that they need to stop them from going bust.
Honestly, it makes me so sad that.
Horrible.
Yeah, horrible. Absolutely atrocious. Oh, just shouldn't happen. When you're talking about teams in the Championship losing 25 million in a year, like even probably less than 10% of that could save them and set them up.
Mm-hmm.
It's awful. I just think what them fans as well must be going through. And then obviously what you've seen them, like the first game of the season and how they came together to sort the pitch out and all the surroundings and things like that. And it's your life, isn't it, football? And
it's no matter football club, innit?
Yeah, no matter what's going on in your life, you can escape for 90 minutes while being at that football ground watching your team, and you don't even have to care about anything else but your team and that game going on. And it's probably helped you guys as well. But when you've got stuff going on at home and when obviously you're having a bad day, and don't get me wrong, football is frustrating. We all know that from our teams who we support, but you can just escape from everything, can't you?
Exactly.
It's not just about the football, isn't it, though? It's
a social
going out,
life,
seeing your friends, having a bit of banter, forgetting about the shit that you've got going on at home.
Exactly.
And escaping for a little while. And I just really hope that they can overturn it and somehow sort it out.
I completely agree. Just going on to the chat as well, obviously. Graham, awful situation at Southend. Shouldn't happen to any club. Fit and proper is a joke. I completely agree with that. We've got Grant in the chat as well. Winning the league. E-I-E-I-E-I-O. Mr. Luke is asking you, Anne, which non-league side do you visit? Is it South Shields?
No, it's Spennymoor Town, which we're in South Shields League last year.
Super Glenn Taylor. Hey, no, he's the reason we got promoted from the Conference North, you know.
Really? Oh, there we are.
Yeah. He literally last season came to a match. He's never played a game for us. He got brought out on the pitch at half time, and he had we were all singing Super Glenn Taylor and all that.
Yeah, I think I'm going this Saturday, actually. I haven't been for a little while because obviously with work and being a Sunderland supporter, really, because I try and go to some of the away games. But It's obviously, a break in the international break, so I'll try and get that to 20, I think.
Love that.
Yeah.
And the last game as well, Gateshead 2, Oldham Athletic 2. And Mr. Luke, I like the sound of this. Our player died for that red card to Oldham. I love that. That is literally music to my ears. I absolutely love that. But as you mentioned as well before, obviously, I don't want to say too much, as I said, but Oldham were very disappointing side considering the players they possess. Yeah. They had a slow start though last season, didn't they? I know it was the first season, obviously, in the National League, but they did have a slow start and then they got into it, didn't they, as the season went on? But I'm just wondering about their manager. I just don't think he's the right man for him, to be honest.
Plus, right, I'm not being funny. You've got players for Oldham who think they're playboys. Like, I'm not being funny. You're a National League footballer, right? Get in your lane. Stop being absolute idiots. Like, you've got Alex Reid, who is more interested in being Mr. Manchester Party Boy. He was the same when he was at County, had a great season. Yeah. And then the second season, like, all you'd see, he wouldn't play, but he'd be putting on his Instagram stories, like, how he was out all the time, absolutely hammered. There was once where he was videoing himself lying on the floor outside his own flat because he'd lost his key. You're just like, mate, what are you doing? You can't even get in our team. Like, what? But him and Mark Kitchen this week, and
it's for us.
Yeah, it's been going on in our chat about the pair of them. I don't follow either of them, but it's been going on in our chat about some of the stuff they're putting on. Like,
yeah.
I just think you're just a league away from being in regional football. If you don't act and behave how you should, you're gonna be in regional football. And what person is gonna want to go out with someone who is pretending that they're a footballer? I mean, sorry. I'm just ranting.
No, it's fine. We've got. I think this is for you, Claire. Grant.
Oh, I'm not dissing Fondop. We all love a bit of Mike Fondop.
I'm thinking it's for you anyway because I don't think it's me or Aunt that'll diss him.
I just remember he was at Burton Albion a couple of years ago, and it was one of the funniest names I've ever seen. Mike Fondop. When the Fondops stop.
Love it. And then we've got the National League table. So we have got top of the table, Barnet on 16 points. Just below them on the same points, we have Chesterfield in second. Solihull Moors in third on 15 points. Hartlepool just below them on the same points. Then we have Ebbsfleet in fifth on 12 points. FC Halifax on the same. Woking, 11 points. We're just outside of the playoffs on 10 points. Altrincham, Maidenhead and Dagenham join us on the same points. We have Gateshead in 12th, Bromley in 13th place on 9 points. And we have Wealdstone on 8 points. Eastleigh and Aldershot below them on 7 points. Oxford City, Oldham, Boreham Wood, Kidderminster all on 6 points. Then in the relegation zone, we have AFC Fylde, Dorking on 5 points, York City on 3 points, and it's so sad to see, but at least they're in plus points now. Southend United on 2 points, and I really do hope they can get out of that, as we mentioned. And to be fair to them, they had a really good start to the season, Southend, so it's so sad, isn't it? Really is.
And what I don't know if you've seen it, because I was looking up
it made me laugh at.
I did say I'm not being harsh, but I noticed that the National League do different with their player and manager of the month. Have you got them as well?
Got them. We've actually got the winners though.
I was laughing because I wanted to hear you say his name.
Is it Desaruve?
Desaruve.
Desaruba. I was close. That's quite good for me.
You should have just said Andy. You should have just went Andy Wing. You'd have been all
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have actually got. You can't have the nominations for this because we have actually got the winners of this one. So Andy Wing, manager of Solihull Moors, won that, and I think that's really well deserved. To be fair, they've had a really good start, and we'll call him Manny. I'm not pronouncing his name again. He won that for Hartlepool Player of the Month, so brilliant for them. And Hartlepool are doing very well at the minute. I think they've got, honestly, I think they're one of mine too. Definitely be up there, Hartlepool.
Yeah.
Grant as well. Stay safe, Manny D. I'm going to call him Manny D now. And Mr. Luke put 12 could be better. But yeah, that was a long one tonight, wasn't it? I don't think it helped with our laughing fit in the middle of it. And like, we've had every mood. We've had crying on camera. I've been snorting like Peppa Pig. But what else would you want to be doing on a Thursday? I don't know.
Exactly.
But just before we go as well, I will throw up this new graphic that Sam made. Very nice and colourful. So these are all our socials for the Absolute Football Ballcast. Podcast. It is on Twitter or X, if that's what you want to call it now. We are Absolute Ball Pod. YouTube, Absolute Football Podcast. Twitch, we are Absolute Football Podcast. TikTok, we are Absolute Football Pod. Instagram, we are Absolute Football Podcast _. Same on Threads. And Facebook, if you want to catch us, we have an Absolute Football Podcast. We are live on Mondays at 8 p.m, and that is a Premier League review. And Thursdays, we have the Lower League, if you want to join us again, or some other members of our team, and that is Thursdays.
You know what it is about this wonderful new because it's beautiful, that background. What it was Alex has done, hasn't he? Sam's done it. Sorry, Sam's done it. He spelled Thursdays wrong.
Oh yeah,
Thursdays. It's like we're Irish. Thursdays.
Turday.
But yeah,
that's what he meant today.
I know. Yeah. That's the socials for the podcast. But where can we find you, Anne, if anybody wants to find you?
Yeah, mostly on Twitter. I'm Anthony_Waterson, also host of the How Are the Lasses podcast, which is quite a happy podcast. I mean, because Sunderland women are doing really well. That is a space on a Monday night, every Monday night. And saying that this week's was Tuesday, but unless we get sick. I'm also one of the hosts of What a Ball Ache podcast, which is WABA Pod. So yeah, add if you want, DM if you want. I might not answer you, but yeah.
And Claire, where can they find you?
Yeah, if you want to look at my ramblings, it's Claire_Jeffs on Twitter.
I'm going to tell Wagon to follow you.
You can also find Claire in the village.
Yeah.
The village. And if you want to find me, I will be buying a new waterproof mascara because I found out tonight that mine is not waterproof and I've still got my mark there. But if you want to follow me on all socials, I am SharXRAFC, and that is on Twitter, that's on TikTok, Instagram. I think I'm on Threads as well, but I don't post much because I don't really know what it's about. And you can follow my Her Game 2 stuff. That is Rochdale HGT, and that's all on the same socials. And you can find us, obviously, next week at 8:30 p.m. I don't know who will be on. It's probably going to be someone. It'll probably be us three again. It depends if Gillingham win, doesn't it? You might see Scoots. None of us have seen him.
Imagine him standing up for 2.5 hours.
I know. He's still suffering now. But yeah, I just want to thank everyone else for obviously being in the chat and bearing with us while we had our little moment before.
Thank you.
A laughing moment. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and catch you all later. Hope your teams win at the weekend. Bye.
Bye.